In the land of real, there's a love that's true. Sugar love is her name, spreading sweetness too. Her voice like velvet, smooth as a summer breeze. A podcast, the soundtrack to everybody's ears. Sugar love, she's the queen of soul. A podcast, the place where the stories unfold. News and entertainment with a touch so sweet. She's the heartbeat of the community's beat. She brings the news with flavor like a cup of hot tea. Uncovering stories, bringing light to what we see. With her infectious laughter, she uplifts every soul. Sugar love, she's the one who makes us feel whole. She's the one who makes us feel whole. In the land of real, there's a love that's true. Sugar love is her name, spreading sweetness too. Her voice like velvet, smooth as a summer breeze. A podcast, the soundtrack to everybody's ears. Sugar love, she's the queen of soul. A podcast, the place where the stories unfold. News and entertainment with a touch so sweet. She's the heartbeat of the community's beat. She brings the news with flavor like a cup of hot tea. Uncovering stories, bringing light to what we see. With her infectious laughter, she uplifts every soul. Sugar love, she's the one who makes us feel whole. She's the one who makes us feel whole. In the land of real, there's a love that's true. Sugar love is her name, spreading sweetness too. Her voice like velvet, smooth as a summer breeze. A podcast, the soundtrack to everybody's ears. Sugar love, she's the queen of soul. A podcast, the place where the stories unfold. News and entertainment with a touch so sweet. She's the heartbeat of the community's beat. She brings the news with flavor like a cup of hot tea. Uncovering stories, bringing light to what we see. With her infectious laughter, she uplifts every soul. Sugar love, she's the one who makes us feel whole. She's the one who makes us feel whole. In the land of real, there's a love that's true. Sugar love is her name, spreading sweetness too. Her voice like velvet, smooth as a summer breeze. A podcast, the soundtrack to everybody's ears. Sugar love, she's the queen of soul.
Hey,
A podcast, the place where the stories unfold. News and entertainment with a touch so sweet. She's the heartbeat of the community's beat.
Hey y'all,
Jackie. Hey, sis. What's up, boo? What's up, boss Jackie? Y'all know we're going to take it's story time. It's story time. It's story time. Yes, it is story time. You know, I got some more stuff, but I don't know why the internet ain't working, all of that. But everything is going to be all right. It's going to be all right. All right, let's get to this story. You late coming? Oh, hey, how you doing, my replay gang? How you doing?
#1 site, blah, 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 for Black singles, this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, okay, I hear a lot of.
This credit goes to More with Monica. More with Monica. This credit goes to More with Monica. Let's go.
About Hinge from like dating and life coaches that I follow on Instagram. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna download the two, right? So I download the two, make the profile, verify my face so that everyone knows I'm real, so on and so forth. So I also do remember hearing that sometimes if you pay for the subscription, you get like a better pick at people. Like, I don't want to say better pick at people, more so like the more serious people. Like the more serious people pay for the subscriptions, to be matched with other serious intentional daters. So I'm like, okay, cool. There was
hey Trey.
I think it was 6 months for like $36. So I'm like, cool, I'll go ahead and pay $36. I mean, I spent $36 on worse shit. So went ahead, paid the $36. Everything started. I'm good. I'm, on the website or on the app or whatever, scrolling through, and the people were okay. In the beginning, I did notice that I had to like configure some things and change some stuff, like, from age to height to location. So, okay. So change some things. I ended up, after I completed my profile, took a look, changed some things, put it down. I'm like, okay, I'll come back to this later. So I want to say I came back to it maybe the next day. So the next day I got, a few matches or whatever, or a few people that are interested in me, not matches, a few people that are interested in me. And I'm like, okay, taking a look, obviously weeding out who I'm not interested in at all. And there's this one person in particular that I'm like, okay, so were the pictures a bit much in terms of like flashiness? But I think that's just something that some guys just do. So whatever, I'm not going to pass too much judgment. This may actually just be like his everyday lifestyle. So he has no normal pictures. He was in there and I'm like, okay, from what he input in there, he's looking for something serious, but, not wanting to rush, wants to get to know, said person. And I'm like, okay, outside of the pictures being a little cheesy, you sound like you actually, want marriage, because that's what I'm seeking. Ultimately, I want to be married. I want to be in a happy, healthy relationship. So I'm like, okay, reading the different things that he put, answer certain prompts. And I'm like, okay, we seem like, it seems like we can probably, mesh. So I go ahead and match with the person and a couple others. Now, as you can tell, I'm describing this one person more than the others. So this is obviously who the story is about. Okay. So when I come back to it the next day, I have a message from this person. I have my phone now because I'm going to read y'all the message. Okay. So he ends up messaging me and he's like, hey, I really want to get to know you. When you get a chance, tell me a little bit about yourself. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, what do you want to know? So he's like, goals, hobbies, etc. He's like, whatever you think I should know. And then proceeds to tell me about himself. So he's like, I'm 31 years old. I graduated from Roosevelt University with a degree in business and finance. I freelance as a financial analyst. I've been in real estate for about 8 years. I own quite a few properties, on the verge of opening a beauty palace and a music management company. I love to listen to all genres of music, travel, shop, and I'm really into cars. My goal is to become a better person. I feel like there's always room to make yourself better and be more of an assist to people who may need it. I'm looking for something serious, but I'm taking things slow. When it happens, it happens. If you want to know anything else, just ask. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's a pretty decent, introduction of who you are. Definitely have follow-up questions, but for the most part, I'm like, that's pretty nice. And I'm like, seems like a very, stand-up person. You have a lot going for yourself. There's things that you can teach me, so on and so forth. So I respond. I ended up going to school to be an esthetician, graduated 2023. And I'm studying to obtain my license,
Esthetician.
in pursuit to owning my own spa one day. I gave a few other things, but the screenshot cut off, so I can't remember everything else that I stated. So from my memory, we went back and forth in conversation, asking different things, so on and so forth. So he's like, hey, I don't really I don't sit on this app, which nobody should. But he's like, I don't sit on this app, or whatever phrase he used. Do you mind if we exchange numbers? So I'm like, I sure, we can exchange. I'm like, give me your number. So he gives me his number, and I want to say I waited like an hour before I text him. Okay. So it is Monday, March 18th when I text him, right? It's 8:05 p.m. So I text him, I say, it's Monica. He's like, hey, just getting in from this work dinner. I know you're probably asleep. And he assumes that I'm asleep because I text at 8:05 and he ended up responding at 11:03. So I actually, I was up, but I was doing something else. So I ended up responding like an hour later. I'm like, how was the dinner? So he's like, it was okay. I'm tired working on this presentation. So I ended up falling asleep in between us texting. And then when I woke up, I ended up texting him. I'm like, well, hopefully you were able to get some rest. He's like, I'm still up working. Oh, no, he says, I'm up working on it still. I fell asleep working on it. And then he's like, good morning. So I replied, good morning. He's like, what are you doing up so early? I'm like, it's 6:00 on a Tuesday. The average person is typically up at this time, whatever. Those were literally my thoughts. And I just reply, I'm like, getting ready for school and for work. He's like, oh, okay. I thought I'm the only one that's awake at this time of day, which I don't know how he thought that. Like, it's literally 6 a.m. A lot of people wake up at 6 a.m. Maybe different if it was like 3, 4, but whatever. So he's like, he ended up texting me saying, let me know what day works for a date. I would love to plan something and take you out. So I'm like, okay, cool. I heart the message. He then follows up with a screenshot of his Instagram, and he's like, what's your Insta? So then, let's see, I'm replying to some other, you replied to previous messages. So he's like, I thought I was the only one that's up at this time of day. I'm like, nope, LOL. And then I said, okay, I'll let you know, to him telling me to pick a date that he can take me out. And then I gave him my Instagram handle. And then he's like, to me giving a date, me saying I'll let you know. He's like, LOL, that doesn't mean wait 10 years. So I'm like, LOL, I know. He's like, okay. So I'm like, what days work best for you? He's like, the weekends are usually best for me. I'm like, okay, cool. Same here. So then I end up following up with him and letting him know basically what my availability is. So I'm like, I have the 23rd and the 30th open currently. I'm like, April 6th, I have plans. And April 12th through the 14th, I'll be in Mexico. So he's like, the 30th, the 30th is perfect. And I'm like, when do I get details so I know how to dress? He's like, I'll have it planned by tonight. So I send him a little Kevin Hart gift, all right. So then he's like, LOL, I want to see you way before, but beggars can't be choosers. I said, I mean,
Now, as y'all see, they only click one time. And look how fast he moving on her. When can we go on a date? When can we go on a date? This is if y'all want to get back into the date. See, you know, we have to do you got to listen to what these men are saying. So she can't have, she's busy because she has a life. But I want to see you sooner. Remember, red flags, red flags, red flags, red flags. Off the top, there are red flags. But of course, you're not going to notice it. I tell you, it's subtle. It's subtle. Right? And don't worry, I got a man one coming up too. But here we go.
I can do stuff during the week. It's just a little more strict due to me and my son's schedule with work and school and sports. So he never responds to that. So we continued, just to have regular conversation, right? So I'm going to fast forward a bit. So again, the date we're having this conversation about going out on a date is March 19th. It's a Tuesday. So we agreed that we were going to go out March 30th. Same day he texts me, he's like, I planned our date. You should dress up. So I heard the message. Cool. I'm like, dress up like sneakers or dress up like heels? Because, there's a difference. So he's like, heels for sure. I can't wait to meet you. And then he asked me when's my birthday. So we're going back and forth, having conversation. Fast forward now. I forgot there was a response there. So let's see. We're having conversation every day, every single day, from morning, noon, night, text messages, there's phone calls in between, we even FaceTimed at some point. I don't remember the first FaceTime. I want to say it had to been like the next, like day 2 of us having each other's phone number was when we FaceTimed. So like communication's literally there, like not missing a beat. Again, we're like really getting to know each other, having, I don't want to say deep conversations, but a little below surface level, like really trying to learn each other, turn into a relationship at some point. So here we go. So on March 28th, I'm on the phone with him. We're having a conversation. So then he's like, hold on really quick, puts me on hold. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he puts me on hold. I'm relatively patient, right? So I want to say it got to like the 2-minute mark. The 2-minute mark, and then a text came through from him. And he's like, I'm going to call you back. It's a family emergency. So I'm like, hope everything is okay. No reply. When he told me about the family emergency, this was at 8:32. When I said, hope everything is okay, again, there was no reply. So now it's 11:30. I'm like, I called him and no answer. So I texted him. I was like, I was just calling to make sure everything is good. Have a good night. Still no response. So then Friday, March 29th, it's 9:39 in the morning. So I text him and I'm like, good morning. I'm like, have a great day. You're stronger than you think. Keep pushing. So he's like, thanks. I really needed that. My grandma died. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm here if you need me. And I truly mean that. I'm like, do you want to talk about it or do you just want your space? Because we all know when we lose somebody, sometimes you don't fucking feel like talking. You're just like, give me my space. I'll speak when I'm ready. So he replies, I would like to talk about it later. I'm like, absolutely. I was like, just letting him know, something about me. I'm like, I lost my grandma when I was 12. So I kind of know how you feel. My thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. Have the best day you possibly can. So he's like, thanks. I really appreciate it. Been going about my day, trying to act like it didn't happen because it hurts so bad. I appreciate you being here for me. So I send the little emoji, the little hearts. So again, I just let him go about his day. I'm not going to sit here and like badger you and like, just cool. Have your space, process how you process. So, he does become a little distant. We're going to go ahead and just put that out there. Definitely becomes a little bit distant. Next day, I end up texting him. No, back up. So after I send the heart emoji, that was at 1:35 p.m. So at 6:54, same day, I text him like, hey, just checking on you. He replies that he just got up. So then I reply, I'm like, can't wait to see you tomorrow. This is 8:55. I said, can't wait to see you tomorrow. No response. So now, I'm not going to overly send text messages and call, and I'm not going to do all that, especially since he just told me that his grandmother passed away. So, again, when I say can't wait to see you tomorrow, there was never a point where he told me, I want to cancel the date. Let's reschedule. Let's change the time. Nothing. But then also there were no additional details given to our date outside of it was already planned and dress up. That's it. So now it's Saturday, March 30th, and it's 1:07 p.m. I end up texting him like, good afternoon. So then he's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm great. How are you? He's like, going through it. To be honest, I'm messed up mentally. So then I respond, I'm like, I understand this is so messed up. I was like, step outside, get some fresh air and talk to her. She wouldn't want you sad. Sit back and just think about all the memories you have with her. It will definitely take time, but I'm here for you 100%. I was like, and if you need to cancel today, just let me know. I understand. So this is at 1:14. We're having, this back and forth conversation. I'm letting him know, like, if you have to cancel, cool. Like, I'm not going to take it to heart. You just said your grandmother passed away. Some people, continue on with their day and they're just like, oh, I'm cool. Like, I'm cool, but I'm not. Or some people are like, yeah, cancel everything. We ain't doing this shit. So, I'm just letting them know, like, if you have to cancel, I understand. So this is at 1:14. So 2 hours go by, no response. So I text him again. I'm like, not to bug you. However, can you please confirm or cancel our plans? I have to let my babysitter know as soon as possible. So about 45 minutes later, he responds. He's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, my energy is not there. I'm sorry. So I'm like, please don't apologize. I completely understand. Now, I definitely did understand. However, I do think that the communication definitely could have been better. I feel like you for sure knew the day of. You knew the day of that your energy was not there to be on a date, to go on a date. You may have also known a day prior, and when you found out the news, like you knew. So you should have communicated,
Well,
better.
you should know that part.
Because
but
what if I would have had all these things planned out, had all these things set up to prepare for this date? I didn't, but what if I would have, So, I end up telling him, like, please don't apologize. I understand. Again, this is March 30th. So don't hear from him from the rest of the day. Actually, I might have to look because this man had 3 phone numbers. He had 3 different phones that we would have conversations off of. So I'm not going to say that I didn't talk to him the rest of the day, as well as Instagram. We used to be, sometimes you just like start a conversation there and go from there. So I'm not going to say I didn't talk to him. There may have been conversations on other phone numbers, but this was like the main number that I text. So then March 31st, I'm like, good afternoon. He's like, good afternoon, babe. Thanks for thinking of me. So I heard the message. I'm like, always. He's like, what are you doing today? I'm like, just left the grocery store, about to go home and cook for my family. Oh, this is Easter. So then he texts me. That's at 1:11 when I responded. We're going back and forth, like in the 1 o'clock hour. So then at 4:56, he texts me. He's like, I miss you. I wish I could talk to you. Now, mind you, I'm going to let the I miss you fly because I'm assuming you're talking about conversation, because keep in mind, we never met. At this point, we have not met yet. So you missing me, I'm going to assume this is conversation, or you missing my face on FaceTime. Okay. So I'm like, we can talk later tonight if you're feeling up to it. No response. That's at like 6 o'clock when I respond. So about an hour later, I respond. No, maybe 2 hour-ish, hour and a half-ish. I respond, he doesn't respond. Moving forward, we're, still texting, getting to know each other, whatever the case may be. Everything is cool. Still haven't met each other. The following weekend came and I really didn't hear from him, right? So his grandmother died. What week was that? Okay. So his grandmother dies. Sorry, that sounded kind of harsh. His grandmother passes away that Thursday. So March 28th, she passes away. We're supposed to go on a date March 30th. That doesn't happen. So the following weekend, because he was like, we can try going out the next weekend. I'm like, okay, cool. So the following weekend is approaching. We'll say it's like April 4th. The communication kind of like dies down again. So I'm like, the fuck? Then he reaches out to me April the 6th. So we're on the phone talking. We were on the phone, I want to say, for at least like an hour. And he was telling me went to his grandmother's funeral the previous Friday. And I'm like, oh, I feel like if you're going to go as far as making mention that she passed away, you would have the conversation of like, oh yeah, her funeral is today, right? Whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. And he also was saying that he wanted to push the date to the next weekend. So then, we continue talking, getting to know each other, move past that day. Now we're in the next week. And he's all like, oh, I wish, we can, I can see you. I really, I want to meet you in person, so on and so forth. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, like it's my son's birthday weekend. We're going to Mexico. Like we already knew, I already planned this and I had told you about this when we first, started talking or whatever. So he's like, oh yeah, no, I understand. So the whole time I'm in Mexico, I'm like communicating with him, but not as much because I'm on vacation and it's my son's birthday. But I was noticing that like when I'm reaching out, it's kind of like I'm being ignored essentially. And I was like, okay, that's a little weird, but whatever. So then, So then we get back and he's like, oh, sorry, y'all. He's like, let's see if we can go out this weekend. So I'm like, okay, cool. So like Tuesday rolls around and he says that he has a sore throat. So me, I'm kind of like in my head, like, okay, the first, the week we're supposed to go on a date, your grandmother passed away. Next weekend, her funeral. The weekend after that, I'm out of town. Okay, so, try not to take it to heart or whatever. So I'm like, I'm sorry, you don't feel good or whatever. So I start sending him like different teas that he can purchase, like the throat coat tea. I'm telling him like, go to Target, Whole Foods, something, get the throat coat tea. That typically helps me. And then I told him to go to Starbucks. Sorry. Child, all this talking. Got my throat dry. So then I tell him to go to Starbucks and get a medicine ball. So I was like, okay, cool. Thanks for the recommendation, blah, blah. I'm gonna definitely, try it. Part of me didn't believe that he was really sick. A lot of our communication was in text message. So then I'm like, you know what? Let me call this motherfucker. Like, I need to hear that you're sick. Sorry. So I call him. And of course, voice is like out. So I'm like, okay, cool. He ain't lie about that. You can tell I'm a little jaded. Niggas be lying about stuff. So, like voice is actually like raspy as shit, going in and out, all type of shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. He's actually sick. So we don't end up going out that following weekend, because it takes time to, to get better. We continue having conversations, texting, we're on the phone, FaceTime, everything. Like communication picks back up, we're good. So, when I got back from Mexico, that's what I forgot. So when I got back from Mexico, I started a new job. I started a new job and I hated the new job. And I was, just talking to him like, oh my God, like this place is so fucking ghetto. Like I cannot work here. Like, this is just beyond me. Super draining, super ghetto, unprofessional, all of that, right? So he ends up, sorry, y'all. Sorry. Was that in a different phone? Like I told y'all, he got all these numbers, so it's probably in a different. Yeah, because here goes when we were talking about him being sick. Shout out to iPhone for having the ability to search for things when you know you're looking for something specific. I know something I said. I said this shit was chaotic. Their office was I'm telling y'all, it was crazy. Okay, so, I'm telling him about the job or whatever, how I hate it, I want to quit, blah, blah, blah. So he ends up texting me and he's like, so I'm like, I don't do loud, unprofessional, ghetto, chaotic. I don't do that. Like, no, thank you. So he's like, babe, we're going to talk when you get off. You don't really even got to work for real. So I'm like, huh? Like, what you talking about? Keep in mind, y'all, we still have not met. So I'm like, I'm reading these things that are being said, but I'm like, why would you say that? So that day we end up having a conversation, and I'm just, this is somebody I'm getting to know. This is someone I'm dating, right? So, I'm opening up about certain things, and I'm just like expressing like I'm so tired, of like working a 9-to-5 job. I really want to get my business, off the ground and be able to, actually study and take the test to get my license. Like, it's difficult being a single parent, having to work a 9-to-5. You got a son in sports, you got, it's all these household, like it's just so much in a day. When I do finally get the time to study, I'm tired, right? So we're having that conversation, and he's like, I completely understand, and me being in the, financial position that I am, like I'm blessed. I have all these, different things. Not saying he's naming them, but in conversation over time, we've talked about the different things, and things that he's accomplished and where he stands, financially, kind of, sort of. So he ends up saying, because I'm getting frustrated and I'm like tearing up a little bit, right? So he's like, I don't like to hear you cry. Like, what can I do to make things better? And I'm like, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, I'm a big girl, I always figure it out. I'm like, I don't like this job, but I'll thug it out until I find something better. So then he's like, well, quick question. So I'm like, okay, what's up? He's like, how long do you need, to study so that you can take your, the test to get your license? And I'm like, I want to say anywhere from like 2 to 4 weeks, just to thoroughly study. Like, I know the stuff, but it's been a little bit of time has gone by. So I just want to, refresh and, take practice tests to ensure that like I pass with flying colors. So he's like, okay. He's like, yeah. He's like 2 to 4 weeks ain't bad to like, refresh and, get yourself up to speed. I'm like, yeah, not at all. I'm like, I can do it though. I'm definitely going to figure it out. So then he's like, babe, I got another question. So I'm like, what's up? He's like, not to be in your business, but how much do you make? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, your salary, what's your salary? And I'm like, I said, I think I'm at like 40 to 42K, I believe is what I said. And he was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I'm answering his questions, but I'm like, the fuck you getting at? Like, and then I do remember him, earlier in the day saying like, oh, you really don't have to work, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'm listening, not getting too excited about nothing because I don't know what the fuck he's going to say. His page, and I'm like,
now y'all, yeah. Y'all been watching me long enough. Y'all been watching me long enough, Maderi. You're not paying attention, Maderi. Maderi's not paying attention, right? And Lakeisha is like, damn, she's like right there. She's like right there. And Jackie's right behind her. But Maderi's not paying attention. Y'all know I'm bringing y'all something, right? I'm bringing you. We getting there. Like I said, Maderi is not paying attention. Lakeisha's like right there. She right there. I'm not gonna bring you no dumb story. Everything is a learning lesson. Here we go.
I'm just scrolling, looking. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I started doing some investigating. Talking, he's like, I gotta catch this flight, but we're gonna talk once I land, and we'll figure out a game plan from there. So I'm just like, okay. So days go by, I'm still going to work, whatever the case may be. And I end up thinking about what he said in his message to me initially. He said, my goal is to just become a better person. I feel like there's always room to make yourself better and be more of an assist to people who may need it. So I'm like, okay, I just thought about it. I'm not saying that, the two go like super hand in hand, but it was something that popped in my head. I'm like, So now I'm like, I go back on his page and I'm like, just scrolling, looking. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I started doing some investigating. Cause I'm like, what's to this man? Like, we live in the same city.
Hey,
you're essentially this entrepreneur. You make your own schedule, you make your own money, you pretty much do what you want to do from a day-to-day basis. However, we haven't met each other yet. Then I'm like, oh, well, let's take it to account. Again, I go back to the events. His grandmother passed away, the funeral, I'm out of town, he's sick. And I'm like, okay, Monica, like, don't be too, don't jump to conclusions too quick. Like things have happened. You had things going on, and that's, that's why you all's time isn't aligning. But then it just kept popping back in my head. And I'm like, but we live in the same city. Like, we're in the same city. So why have we not at the least, a Starbucks date? A quick bite to eat. I'm not saying a full-blown dinner, something. If you make your own schedule, weekends work for you, like, okay. But then I kept like psyching myself out. I'm like, well, not psyching myself out, but I guess kind of, sort of going back to the chain of events that have taken place. So he's out of town or whatever. And we end up having a conversation. He's like, so what did you say again? Is your salary? And I'm like, 40, I say 40K for the sake of it. So I'm like, 40K. He's like, okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end up, when I get back, I'm going to go to the bank and have them cut you a check for 40K so you can quit that job. Like, I don't want you stressing, da, da, da. Now, it sounds good, right? Somebody coming along, giving you your current salary, which allows you to pay your bills and take care of your kid and study and progress your life. Sounds great, right? Right? No. So a suspect, considering the circumstances of us not meeting. We're not in a relationship. $40,000 is a lot of money, right? So we continue to have, conversation. Now, I'm not bringing up the money at all. I'm not bringing it up. I'm not this thirsty chick that's like, oh, where's my 40,000? You said you're gonna give me 40,000. Where am I? Like, no, I'm gonna let you, if you're gonna do it, then do it. It'll be weird as fuck if you brought something up on your own and don't do it, but like every day be. So, so again, I have it in the back of my head. I'm talking to my best friend, my best friend's been in the loop with the whole him situation since we matched. So I'm like, have a conversation with her. I'm telling her like what he said. And she's like, oh, but like, I really hope that that's something that he actually does, follow through with, and he ain't, on some fuck shit. Right. So again, conversation continues. We're FaceTiming, talking. I'm not bringing up the money whatsoever. I want to say maybe about a week has gone by. So on April 30th, he texts me. He's like, good morning, babe. Can you meet me downtown at Prime and Provisions at 8:30? He's like, I have a business dinner there today and I'll be done by 8:30. I'm like, okay, cool. Now, mind you, we still haven't met. So this is going to be the first time that we meet. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to go downtown to Prime and Provisions or whatever, or that's where we're going to meet, whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. So in the back of my head, I'm like, are we like going to dinner at Prime and Provisions, or are we just meeting there? What is it? So, let's see. Oh, okay. So again, he says, let's meet at Prime and Provisions at 8:30. I'll be done, blah, blah, blah. So then he texts me again. He's like, also, I'm going to the bank to get, this is what he says. I'm going to the bank to get you a bigger check for being solid. I pay attention to how people move with me. So we end up having a conversation, and what he's referring to is me being there when his grandmother passed away. So me being there when his grandmother passed away, basically just checking on him, giving him his space, giving him positive affirmations, giving him suggestions, on the grief, not how to grieve, but kind of sort of, things that help when you're grieving. That's what he's considering me being solid. So I'm like, good morning, honey. Yes, I can. I'm like, were you able to get some rest? He's like, no, not at all. I have so many accounts that I'm working with. I'm literally working off 2 hours of sleep. So I let him know, I'm like, hey, I understand being busy, but you got to put your health first, get yourself some rest. I'm like, well, since you're lacking in sleep right now, I'm like, you should look into going to get IV therapy. And I sent him the link to a place that's downtown, since he's, always downtown. So, okay, whatever. He doesn't respond. He then ends up texting me at 3:08. He's like, what are you doing, babe? I'm like, getting my nails done. Then he says, I didn't ask you, did you want a check or cash?
About time somebody got
so I'm like
getting the answer right. Here we go.
Okay. So then I end up responding. I said, I think cash would be better, simply because I think a check over 10K would flag my account, and I could just deposit the money a little bit, over time. What do you think about that? So he's like, that's fine, babe. He's like, I just thought I'd ask first. He's like, how long are you going to be doing that? So I'm like, I thought you had the check already. That's why I didn't say anything. And I'm like, I should be done at like 4 or 4:30. So then this is his response, y'all. He's like, I mean, I can cancel the check. I had a check for $65K.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
She ain't stupid as you think she is.
It's a cashier's check from the bank, and I didn't think I don't think they'll flag your account for certified funds. But I'll give you cash, babe. It's no problem. I just send this emoji. Now I'm sitting at the nail shop getting my nails done,
Not the first date.
I'm like, okay, so you went from asking me what's my salary at, say, 40K. Now you're talking about getting a bigger check. And when he said that initially, like, oh, getting a bigger check, I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I'm just, kind of like went right over it. And now you're talking about you got a check for 65K. So now you're saying that you cut me a check for 65K. Mind you, we still haven't met. So I'm in my head like, this shit can't be real. This shit can't be real. This shit can't be real. Why would somebody give somebody $40,000, $65,000, somebody that they've never met? Now, I'm not selling myself short. Do not get me wrong, y'all. I'm a fucking vibe, okay? I'm pretty. I'm smart. I'm on my shit. However, somebody just handing me $65,000 just don't sit right. Right? So again, I'm still not saying anything. Every time he makes reference of the money, I, just answer whatever question is in between there. I don't make mention of the amount of money that he states. So, he's like, LOL, whatever you want, I'll give it to you that way. I'm like, LOL, okay. Then I asked him, like, are you wanting me to dress up tonight or just something chill? He's like, something chill. He's like, I'm gonna go over some things with you. I'm like, okay. Now, when he says I'm gonna go over some things with you, I'm putting myself in the how do I say this? I'm thinking when he's saying he wants to go over some things with me, he's wanting to assist me with the funds, the money that he's going to give me. I'm thinking he's like, I'm gonna come up with a financial plan because again, he made mention prior that he graduated from Roosevelt University and has a degree in finance and whatever the fuck he said, accounting and finance. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like I like when I can learn from a man. I like when men want to teach me things and not just be around me because I'm a pretty face. Like I like to have my mind stimulated. So yeah, of course, teach me. Cool. You're saying you're going to give me X amount of dollars and then you want to have a conversation. I'm thinking, maybe you're going to assist me with a financial plan, with a business plan, with how to do, who knows, right? Then again, in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, okay. So then he's like, yeah, I'm going to go over some things with you. I'm like, okay. So then he's like, are you busy now? It's 6:15. He's like, are you busy now? I'm like, no, just driving. I'm like, you okay? So then he's like, yeah, I'm flying out early tomorrow. I was going to ask, can you make a run for me? Because I won't have time to before they close today. I'm meeting with investors now. So I'm like, okay, what do you need me to do? He's like, is Apple far from you? He's like, in Lincoln Park. I'm like, I'm literally right here. I was probably about 10 minutes away from Lincoln Park. So I'm like, no, there's Apple right here. So he's like, okay, cool. I have to switch phones. I checked availability for an iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. Can you pick them up and drop them off to me later when you come to pick up the money? He says, I keep fresh IMEI numbers. I was supposed to go today, but I've been busy with investors all day and I'm going to be busy all day tomorrow. So if you can, I'll appreciate it. If not, that's cool. I'll try to figure it out tomorrow. Now, y'all, your girl is not new to any of this lingo, okay? When him and I exchanged Instagram handles, obviously I'm watching the story. I'm seeing him post certain things. I'm not going to be overly snitchy, but seeing him post certain things and I'm like, this might be what I think it is. But, we're not going to assume here. I might be wrong. He may actually be a legit person, right? So again, all this is in the back of my head. But once he makes mention, the day we're supposed to meet at Prime and Provisions at 8:30, when he makes mention of a fresh IMEI number, it clicked. I'm like, this motherfucker's a scammer. He's a fucking scammer. Because what legit businessman? Now, I'm not going to say that he doesn't have a degree in finance and accounting.
He don't.
I'm not going to say that. I know plenty of scammers that got an associate's degree, a bachelor's.
Well, that part
like,
is true.
You know,
But
they actually have,
he
you know, the education. They just are deciding to scam. So I'm like, he's a scammer, right? So I text him and I'm like, did you already pay for them and you just need me to pick them up? I'm like, if so, I can pick them up. I'm literally 10 minutes away from the store. So then he responds, no, I didn't. I tried to send my assistant earlier. They said the ID has to match the form of payment. Can you pay and I'll give you the money when you come drop them off to pick up your money?
Here we go.
What? Like, okay. Not only did I figure out that you're a scammer, right? Now you're trying to scam me. Now you're trying to scam me. Because first of all, baby, you can order an iPhone online. And if you need, well, I ain't gonna say this is iPhone. You can order Apple products online. And if you need to have someone else pick it up, what you do is simply put that person's name down as the pickup person. I've done it for a friend, like a real friend. Went and like, oh, okay, yeah, I can pick up, your phone, Make sure you call them and put my name on the order so they can check my ID and see that the name that you put down matches my ID, right? So, boom. I end up telling him like, no, but like if you go online, like another person could pick it up. Like if you want to pay for it, go ahead and pay for it and I'll pick it up and I'll bring it to you. So then he's like, okay, I'm about to step out and call the bank so that they can transfer money, whatever the case may be. Now, mind you, y'all.
No, he ain't got the tracker. He ain't got the tracker. He ain't meet her or know her or nothing yet. Remember, she said they lived in the same town. But what's important is for awareness, right? This is usually how it starts. And I gave y'all a clue from the beginning, but Maderi didn't catch on. Maderi, all they irritating. They're not ready to that. They're not. There we go, Jackie. There we go. So, right. So Lakeisha was hot. She was hot. She was hot. She was hot. She was hot. And she said, even though it was never about the grandmother, as we see, that was all made up. But again, they work you slow. They get to know your business slow. When I said, the day they got to go out, all of a sudden the grandma not here no more, right? That is with these romance scams. A lot of people get caught out there because they are legit. He got like 10 different foes, girl, but she already was supposed to be meeting him there, if you remember, Lakeisha. Remember, he said, meet me there. She went to go meet him there. That's how he knew where he didn't know exactly where she was, but she already said she was going in to meet him at whatever place they was at. So being that he knew she left to go meet him, of course she not going to meet him. So he comes up with the bull crap. Remember, he was like, oh, meet me there. I got the transactions to do to come pick up the check. Right? And this is how a lot of, not saying they couldn't have had it thing, but from what she's saying, she didn't mention track, but she might mention track. Who knows? Nah, you didn't say suspect, Maderi. You was like, oh, No, everybody got. I'll go back to what you said. You was like people got more to life. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You didn't see scam. You didn't see scam in the beginning, but you wasn't supposed to. You wasn't supposed to see scam in the beginning. Remember you said I need 40,000. I'm bringing it up, right? But you're not supposed to see scam in the beginning. You're not supposed to. So I get it, right? I get it. Because, see, you don't know which way. We just seen another video where it was a manosphere. It could have been a manosphere video, right? It could have been a manosphere video. It could have been a red pill video. Remember the last one we seen? She ain't even meet him neither. And remember, he done told her off with 20 different phone lines. He told her off like 20 different phone lines. So we never know which way it's going to go. We never know. Right? So when we're speaking to people, I'm glad she never gave up her information. Like, remember, she don't know. You said the word grandma. And remember, she said out her own mouth. They didn't speak upon no arrangements, no nothing. So I think at that point, she sort of kind of knew something wasn't right. But it just so happened she already planned the trip to Mexico with her son, right? So it was a time he had to fake her out for a couple of days. Then on top of that, she was going to Mexico for her son's birthday party. Then she gets a new job. They're just regularly simply texting, right? So we see it coming because we're watching it. But if you're living it, you might not see it coming. You might have to put it together the same way she did. She's putting stuff together. And I'm so glad she kept saying, we didn't even meet yet. We didn't even meet yet. Right? So she was following her gut. She was following her gut. But I make sure I play these shows because I'm gonna show one with a guy too. Right. And every time I can't tell people enough. They usually like to target like older people. For some reason, they were very smart, but because of trauma, see, trauma comes in all ages. Trauma messes up your mind, right? Messes up your mind. And then they figure they target these young girls because he's figuring she about that life. So he's figuring, I know she wants something out the deal. So I'm gonna make her think. Sometime when you using somebody, you turn around and you get used, right? But she wasn't using him, thank God, right? So he trying to figure out she one of them young girls that's about that money and about that life, but she wasn't, right? But older people, trauma usually mean your spouse passed away or you're an empty nester. I show these videos because if you have parents, you have to go be nosy. Them are the number one people that they get scammed. Thank you, CC. Them are the main people. If you got a mother, a great aunt, any elderly person, you better go because look how it starts out. Remember, she was talking just like she was talking to him for months. For months. It was no talk about money. It was no talk about money. He ain't even said the word. He ain't popping with I love you. You didn't hear that, right? but he's still FaceTiming her. So she is the one. He waited for the opportunity. He was waiting for the opportunity. She is the one that said, oh man, I got this new job. I keep telling y'all, stop telling people your business. But again, they're speaking for months. She's thinking they're cool. So as soon as she said, I hate this job, I don't want to work here, this job is all ghetto, he was like, ding, 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 ding. He'd been waiting for her to complain for the longest. So he found out that she has aspirations, right? Yeah, but that was in the beginning, Maderi. That's for her son's birthday, right? But what happened there was the thing he really found out is she wants to do a business. He's supposed to have accounting and stuff degree. So he knows she has aspirations. So that's where now I can scam her because I'm going to make her think I'm helping her. So I'm going to tell her I'm giving her this money. And remember, I don't know if I showed it with y'all or I seen one. Remember, if they in other countries and stuff, they have to get people to put money in banks, right? So that's where the other phones come in at. He scammed them other women and got their money. So now he needs it in another account. Them other women, it wasn't his women. And she was like, she want to be the side chick. No, but Derry. This is why I'm saying these things we have to pay attention to. We don't never know which one is going to be. But yeah, but we have to alert. Tell people, like I said, we got to start learning keywords. Like the keyword, I'm going to show up. And as soon as they hit you with a sad ass story, right? Now, you may want to, with the romance scams, they really don't know where you live or whatever. And if they did, what they going to do, they in a whole nother continent, right? They in another whole continent. But some of them might not be in another whole continent. So you can either hang up the phone or bring them to you so you can alert the police. So I want to see what happened. We're going to see what does she do. But I will say that she knew something wasn't right when the grandmother's supposed to pass away, but it was no speaking of funeral arrangements, right? So right there, she was feeling her intuition like crazy. Go ahead, girl. But
it's 7:29 p.m. Ain't no banks open, dog. What you talking about? It's 7:30. I don't give a shit who you bank with. At 7:30, the banks are closed. But to actually call the bank to transfer money, come on now. Like at this point, I'm reading the message. I'm like, this nigga's insulting my intelligence, right? He's like, okay, I'm about to step out and call the bank to transfer money. Then he's like, do you got anybody that can send it to you and I'll pay them triple or something? He's like, it's hard for me to step out while I'm trying to take care of business with these investors. Bro. First, like you're lying. Number one, you're lying. I mean, we just know across the board. You're not calling no bank at no 7:30 at night to transfer no money. You can transfer money from your phone with 2 clicks. Like literally can do it, right? Now you're trying to get me to have somebody else Zelle me some money to get these phones for you. And you think that I'm going to do it because you're saying I'll pay them triple. Don't nobody give a fuck about none of that. Like that, baby, I'm not stupid. Okay. So then I was like, no, nobody that I want in my business. Right. I'm not trying to let him know that I know what the fuck is up. I'm letting it play out. So the whole thing was also, it's 7:30, like I said, right? Apple closes at 8. So he's trying to like move fast. But my whole thing is like, you knew you needed these phones, you know, days ago. So it's 7:30. So he's trying to like, oh my God, I need to get this phone before 8 o'clock. I got this flight in the morning, so on and so forth. So I'm like, if you can't figure it out today, I can go get them for you in the morning after I take my son to school. Or will you be gone by then? He's like, I feel you. I'm literally leaving straight after my meeting tomorrow. Now he's asking me, do you have enough money to buy one?
Oh, Skip. Remember, this is about being awareness. The channel is about awareness. Now you just want one. Oh my God. I'm gonna do a song, and then I'm gonna drop the link. Being that the cat is out the box, I ain't want to drop the link. But I was like, the Keisha was so hot, but then she changed up on me, right? Oh my goodness. I can't take these people. No. I ain't played this in a while. Let's see. Hold on, I ain't played this in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now here we go.
I said, no, I do, but no. So next thing you know, a Zelle payment comes through. A Zelle payment comes through from him to me for like $1,300 to buy a phone. Now, mind you, in the previous text messages, he says he needed two, a 15 Pro and a 15 Pro Max. The money you sent me obviously only pays for one phone. So I'm like, okay, he sent the money, I get it, whatever. So when the money comes in, I screenshot it to show that, said person sent me this money, because now I know in my head you're a fucking scammer. But I'm still, part of me is still kind of like giving the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe, yes, he does scam, but he does have legit business, right? So I screenshot that, he sends me the money.
Money came out of nowhere.
I walk into Apple and he's like, get the Pro Max natural gray. He's like, thanks a lot. He's like, you can get the lowest gigabyte. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm here now. Then I text him, I'm like, I got it. He's like, okay, thanks, babe. I'll let you know when I'm done with them. I'm like, no problem. And okay. So then, y'all.
Uh-oh.
It's 8:25 when I say no problem and okay, right? 8:25. We're supposed to meet at what time?
We forgot.
8:30.
8:30.
So sometimes I used to message him on Instagram simply because his Instagram would tell me when he read something. Okay. So actually, it wasn't me reaching out to him on Instagram. He replied to a story that I posted. Now he replies to my story that I posted. It's 9:15. And he's like, oh, I love this post. Well, he says, I love this, babe, with a heart. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. So I'm like, thanks. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? He's like, not an actual meeting, just whining and dining. These are investors, giving them a little attention. So I heard the message. I'm like, mm-hmm. Then he texts me or DMs me and he's like, do you think you can fly out this weekend? I'll fly you out.
Hell no.
I'm like, is that your way of saying I won't see you tonight? Now, mind you, I have this phone. Right? Now he's asking me if I can fly out this weekend.
Hell no. I might not come back. I had to sip too, girl.
So I'm like, still entertaining it. So I was like, is that your way of saying I won't see you tonight? He's like, no, that's my way of asking you to spend the weekend with me. I said, oh, let me see if somebody is available to babysit. I'll let you know by tomorrow. Now, y'all, yes, I'm making these plans to go out of town. I know you're probably like, but you haven't met him. But let's keep in mind, this was the night I'm supposed to meet him in person. Like, we've had FaceTimes, all that. This is the time we're supposed to see each other in person. So I end up telling him, like, oh, okay, Lika says she can watch
And
Rylan
she already know he lying.
He's like, great, because I need you, babe. He's like, I'm all over the place with like the little emoji, whatever that is. So I'm like, I see that. He's like, feel like my body's gonna shut down. I'm like, that's because you aren't getting enough sleep.
Here we go.
He's like, I really need someone I can trust to manage my personal affairs.
Shoot.
And I'm like, yeah, I thought about that earlier. So the whole night goes on. We're texting or going back and forth in DM. That's like the 9 o'clock hour, right? So I'm keeping in mind, he's saying that he's entertaining investors, so on and so forth. This can go all night. So it ends up getting later and later. I'm like, calling, no response. Texting, he like, we still here, da 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 da.
Don't tell me they captured you.
So I look up the restaurant. The restaurant closed, I want to say at like 9 o'clock, we'll say. 9:30, not too late. Again, this is during the week, so the restaurant's not open late. So now I'm like, this nigga up to something else, like, or just lying overall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go my ass to bed. So I go to bed, and when I wake up in the morning, I have a text from him saying, babe, I went to the house to pack for today. I sat down and closed my eyes and it was over, LOL. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, good morning. I'm like, well, I'm glad you were at home when you closed your eyes. I'm like, where am I meeting you just so I can give you this phone? He's like, we gonna link before I leave.
Girl.
And then I'm like,
I gotta rewind that part.
He's like, link before I leave.
Mind you, when he first asked me to get the phone, he said that he wasn't going to make it to pick up the phone from the Apple because they close at 8. And his flight was early in the morning after his meeting. The message I read came from him at 8:35 a.m. Thought she had an early flight. Girl, this be the one time the scammer gets scammed because, baby, baby, so let's go. Let's kiss that little Apple phone goodbye.
And then I'm like, he's like, yeah, and I needed that little sleep. I'm like, okay. He's like, don't forget to bring the phone. I really need it. And you coming Friday, right? So then he's like, no. I'm like, the phone is in my bag. I'm like, I won't forget it. So I'm like, yes, I'm coming Friday. Yeah, where are we going? Like, what should I pack? So he's like, California. Now, in us talking and getting to know each other, he told me that he's from California. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Sorry, y'all, my camera had died. So
by the way, her hair
he's like, going to California. I'm like, okay, cool.
Absolutely beautiful.
So, you know, I let him know I was able to secure a last minute appointment, blah, blah, blah. So then he ends up calling me, right? Now it's May 1st. I don't know if I said that earlier. So it's May 1st. He ends up calling me, like, you know, a lot of times throughout the day, we just talk and have a conversation. Mind you, I'm calculating everything, computing everything, you know, in my head, but I'm not saying anything to him. I'm literally letting him talk and give me all the information that I need before I call it quits, right? So then I'm on the phone with him and he's like, hey, babe, my assistant is about to send you some money. No, and I'm like, money for what? He's like, for you.
You're on the road,
so
Angela.
I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, I don't have this check still. So I'm like, is that the money he trying to Zelle me? Like,
sometimes I don't. At this point, we already know she's not desperate because everything he tried to throw at her, she didn't catch, right? Remember, she didn't catch it, or she would have paid for that phone if she was desperate. She's the one that got the phone, Angela, if you know what I mean, right? She the one, as of right now, she got him. She got a $1,100 phone.
Okay.
Right? If she was the one desperate, remember, he asked for 2 phones. She said she ain't got the money for the 2 phones. Then he said, you got the money for one? She was like, nah. And then he automatically zelled her the $1,100. So at this point, he the one desperate. She just effing with him. Maybe she's bored. And maybe she's trying to remember. I don't know how this is going to end. Remember, I like to be just as surprised as y'all. I just watch a little bit. I like to be just as surprised as y'all. We don't know if she's going to take this to the popo. We don't know if she's going to save somebody or what. Right? Or it may be the thing I always tell you guys. Women always end up with not women, but people always end up with the bad end of the stick because they want to prove themselves right. When you know you're right, follow your gut, keep it moving. But you got to remember, up until now, she's fine. She know he a scammer. She caught on. She dodged them bullets, right? She did not take no check to no bank, which he asked, right? So she ain't got her name on that. She ain't, because remember, he was like, put this in your account for the 40-something thousand.
Right.
And she was like, nah, that's going to send a flag to my thing. So now every time he tried to get her to do something, she said no. He had to come up with something else. So she ain't desperate. What? We're going to see why or how this ends. We don't know. Right? But sometimes she's at the advantage. She has the advantage. she could, man, I would have get some more money out of him. Let this this road calm gone went the wrong way. And so far, I don't know what else she's gonna do. So far, it's going the wrong way. She's sitting there with $1,100 phone. And she got that from the Apple store. So it's
got
not.
scammed.
What you say, sis?
I said the scammer got scammed.
So far, right? Yeah, so far we don't know. But as of now, she has a $1,100 phone. So far she winning, but we don't know. But no, not just Nigeria no more, girl. Jack, I gotta show you. Wait, I'm showing y'all some more of these things, right? Because remember, it's not about what we know, it's for y'all to pass on the info. And these things a lot of seniors go through, and they give up everything. But they got the ones in Ghana now, girl. That not just Nigeria no more. It's all up and down in Africa now. They trying to take Nigeria out of other African countries, and they got it on a scam too. Can you imagine? Oh well, honey, I'm going to go to work now, because they got offices and everything.
I know you're telling me.
They got offices and everything. That's literally a job now, right? I'm hiring, right? Then they get a script and every damn thing. And we don't know. Remember, a lot of our elder members, and they don't have to be old, they could even be our age or up. Remember, when trauma hits, we don't know if they start looking on these sites. It's a lot of people on the sites. You'll be amazed, grandma on the site. You'll be amazed, your mother on the site, because they don't tell you. They be sneaking. And you be think, oh, I'm fine, honey. And don't forget the women scam the man, but technically you don't men and women get scammed. Oh no, I'm telling you now, Jack, girl, I've been watching these shows. Not no more. I mean, it don't make us no difference. It's all the same to me, right? It's all the same to me. It's all the same. But the peoples in Africa, they're not playing with our money, girl. They're not playing with our money. They're not playing with our money. They want it. They want it. They want it. And then they gotta have one. They need the ones that they get the quick money from, and they need the ones that they have to string along to do the transactions. I think that's because she's young. I think that's what he was trying to do with her, because she has aspirations. I want to get my own business. So young girls usually do dumb shit like that, right? The older ones, they take the money from. Yeah, Jack, girl, my God, I just can't show a lot of them because I will get a copyright strike, but I would love to show them so we could see this. We could see this crap. But I'm telling you, I'm going to work. I'm a scam, but them are legit jobs out there. It's terrible, and not in the second place after Africa would be. I'm not going to say they get kind of mad, but or I say Russia, but I don't necessarily be Russia. I mean, all that whole area. So you got Africans doing their thing, and you got the people that's in that area they call Russia, Ukraine, or whatever. That would be the second set of people that's gonna get your ass, right? They're gonna They gonna get you. They got the pictures lined up, boy. Shit. Some of them, they be getting them women out of one guy got a woman out of $2 million. Now she got to sleep on the street. Yo, they have no heart at all. No heart. But when it came down to her, he thought that I was surprised she didn't ask for any gift cards. But he probably got that from the other woman, Jack. Remember, he had like 4 phones already. Remember, the older people, them the ones they get the money from, right? And then the younger ones, they figure, they're part of that life, I could scam them, give the couple of dollars. And even though they don't know they're going straight to jail, because they thinking, hey, look, I need a couple of dollars. Yeah, I'll hold the bank. I'll put it in the bank, or I'll distribute this for you, or I'll hold a gift card and then give it to you. They have no idea. So remember, a lot of them, especially from the ones that I've seen, the real reporters, these people, majority of their degrees, and not college degrees, I mean degrees that they must study, is psychology. That's why I can't stress to you, you never know, because they study you by your conversations. Just like a knock. They go by your conversations. The minute she said, hey, I don't like this job, that was his opening to say, hey, I'll give you the money. Right? Now, if she was the older woman, he'd have been like, I love you. Right? Remember, he didn't do that love you stuff, because that don't work too much with the young kids. And the way she talked, you could tell, like, nah, I ain't young. You ain't gonna tell me you love me. But for the older women, they love to hear, I love you. And then it hit them. We'll be watching more of them too. And it's the same textbook shit. But they detail it according to you. So technically, they follow after you. And that's how they work you. They work you on you. Right? They say gift cards. Yeah, because you can't trace them. So yeah. But gift cards, yeah. But for the checks and stuff, they be real checks and real money, but they have to have somebody who's gonna deposit it. Remember, they ain't another continent, right? They ain't another continent. So if the checks and stuff are being done in America, then they got to get somebody in America to deposit the check and then send it to them, right? It's like so many different ways, but it's not all of that many. One come in your life once. I mean, they all study psychology, but even if you do block them, I'm just speaking to you, please tell your story, because these scams are not slowing down. Tell your story. So even if, like, she's showing you the different steps, sometimes they don't block it because I'm not giving you nothing, but I have to tell the story, and these are the different steps that they do to get you. So we're going to see how she ended, right? We're going to see how she ended, right? So if you're not about, like, block them, like me, I will probably block them, right? I don't feel like telling the story. But then again, I might be in a mood that I might want to tell the story, but I probably will be the one that go block, right? Block. Unlike, well, as we see, Jackie, as in the upper show, he called them back from 10 different numbers. You may got to get a whole new phone, right? Once they got your number, they got your number. he was lying when he said a single father and he ran out of gas and the popo wouldn't even help them. I blocked them. But these are stories that has to constantly be told. Me, I would be the blocker, but then again, I might be the one to get to the lies, to tell the story. And even if I was for to catch him lying, I might be the one to, if I'm here and he's in Nigeria, he don't know I'm busting his ass on live, right? So I'm like, this is a live version of a romance scam. It all depends, right? So I don't know. But baby, it's a chance. But again, they study psychology, all the different levels. And not in no real school, but this is what they do. They got one level, the one who looks through the things and find you out. I'm sure I'm gonna I really would like to, but I don't know if I made a copyright strike or not. But they have different levels of people, right? Then they got the one that's called the finisher, right? That's the one you're gonna get your money from, right? And I'm glad that he's still even talking to her that long. Because usually when they realize they didn't get you, remember, they ain't got no time to play with you. They're gonna, once they figure, okay, she ain't falling for it, it's on to the next one. On to the next one. The minute she said she didn't have the money or whatever, I don't know why he sent her that. That would let you know right there. When she wasn't trying to find a way to help you, he should have known she was not going for it. He didn't catch on. This is one of the first times I've seen where he didn't catch on. But we shall see. Let's go.
Nigga, I don't think you gazelle $65,000, right? So I end up getting a notification to my bank account that says, now I see the name, but I didn't see the name. You know, it took me a quick second. So it says that a Zelle was trying to come through for $2,500. Y'all, I'm gonna screenshot this and I'm going to put it on the screen so y'all can see the name. I'm gonna say the name, but I want y'all to see this. So $2,500 payment. It says a $2,500 Zelle payment didn't go through. Y'all, why does the name say Janie Doe?
What?
Jane Doe.
Come on,
Boy,
now,
quit playing.
dog. Who? Janie Doe?
Janie.
Now, mind y'all, I'm still on the phone with him like, okay. So then he's like, did it go through? I'm like, no. I don't make mention of the name, right? At all. I'm just taking in all the information. I'm like, no, it did not. It says that the Zelle payment you were expecting didn't go through. That's all I read. I didn't even say the name, even though it says the name in it.
You said Janie Joe.
So then he's like, damn. He's like, I want to try to Apple Pay you. So I'm like, okay, cool. At this point, if you send some funds, I'm going to take the funds. Exactly. At this point. Because now you fucking playing with me.
Right. Exactly.
You're insulting my intelligence. You're wasting my time. So now if you send me some money,
right,
I'm going to take it. And then bye. Right. So he ends up, he's like, oh, I'm going to try to Apple Pay you. Then he goes to his Apple Pay. And then let me screenshot this and put it on the screen. Where he sends me, it's saying account restricted.
Oh,
it says you can spend from your balance or transfer into your bank.
No, bitch.
So I end up looking, I'll end up Googling it or whatever. And it basically says, like, if your Apple Pay gets restricted, you know, it could be resolved. It could be something that Apple just has to confirm, like identity wise, or there's been fraud.
Mm-hmm.
With everything that I'm figuring out and hearing, nigga, you was doing fraud on your fucking Apple Pay, right?
He didn't do fraud.
So
no, he did not do fraud.
This isn't money that I'm asking for. This isn't money that I'm expecting. This is money that he's just choosing to.
Remember, he did not do fraud. That's a part of the scam, but the older people fall for it. The older people fall for it, right? And it's, oh, can you help me? They locked me out, right? So he didn't do fraud. I don't know why people even looking these things up, right? I'm like, why are you taking your time to look these things up? You know they lie, right? You know they lie. But again,
curiosity always kills the cat. You just gotta know.
Yeah. That part is true. I think she was right. Yeah, she playing with him now. She playing with him as she should. All right. What you gonna do, Denja? You way in another whole continent. You like how long is the trip to Africa? How long is that, right? Anybody know?
18 hours.
You 18 hours away. What you gonna do? Come get it. And the thing is, she didn't give out her personal information, right? So, oh wow, it didn't go through. Let me try my Apple. Now, older people fall for it, hook, line, and sink. People, go check on your family members. Trying to tell you. Check on your family members. That's because them the ones, that's like stage 3 or 4. Let me send you some money first, right? I know he mad the motherfucker. I ain't like that. This bitch $1,100, right? But he figuring I'm gonna get it right back. Right? Well, let's go.
So I'm like, whatever, ain't no big deal to me, right? So then we end up getting off the phone. And he's like, I'm wrapping up here. I'm gonna come drop this check off and get the phone. I'm gonna call you when I'm done. So then he starts talking about his assistant again. Jack. He's like, babe, my assistant will be here around 10:20.
Jack, once that's the time to block Jack. She got the phone. You would never. I'm walking away with something. That's when you block, Jack. I got the phone now. Block. That when you go block.
Yep.
Jack ain't blocked. No. After my phone.
I would be blocking accounts. I would be thinking he would be making up. Just for the sake of it.
She was like, block her. Right? No, not yet. I got my phone. Block. You said what now? What happened? No. As you talk, I know I can't meet nobody. I won't see you. You will never see me. I'm gonna go take that phone and give it up. Either I'm gonna keep it or that's somebody's birthday gift. Ninja bye. I'm like, scam gone wrong, right? Well, let's hear about this. Let's hear about this assistant. This is the dumbest one I've seen.
Huh? Scam not likely. Instead of scam likely, scam not likely.
Oh man. Then block. But even if you call, matter of fact, I'm gonna take this new phone that you just bought me, right, and get me a whole new number. Now you can't call me on the new phone you just bought me, Ninja. Oh, y'all terrible. I don't like y'all. Y'all terrible.
She'll have a rental. Where do you want to meet her? So then let me see. I'm trying to make sure I'm responding because he said something about wrapping up his meeting. I'm like, do you want me? Oh, so I was like, do you want me to send you an address on where we can meet, or do you have some place in mind? Because he's trying to give me the check and pick up this phone. So
no, he ain't gonna call me from
then
no
he ends up bringing
number.
with the assistant, and I'm like, as soon as I get in the house, I'll find.
Jackie ain't call me from no number. I'm gonna activate that phone. He just got me, right? I'm gonna cut my phone off, right? Jack, I'm gonna cut my phone off and I'm gonna activate the one he just bought me, right? So I'm gonna have me a whole new phone and a whole new number. So he can't call me because he ain't got the new number for the phone he just bought me, right? Then I'll go in and go change my number when I'm ready. Right? But I'm purposely get that one activated. If I'm not mistaken, when she bought it, don't they give you a number at the time?
Yeah. Well, it depends. I think that if you're getting service, yes, they do. But
Well, she got an app already, so I would add. Like, I meant to tell you to add that to my add that to my line, please.
Find a point for a place for us to meet that's in the middle, also public, because keep in mind I still have not met him and I don't know whoever this assistant is. But then also keep in mind I'm going along with what he's saying. So he's like, okay, I'm coming from Elgin and just let me know. And I'm like, you got to go to O'Hare, right? He's like, yeah. And then I end up saying, I'm like, oh, your assistant can meet me at Bar Louie. And I sent the address. He's like, okay, I'll let her know when she lands.
Every time she say something, that ninja got the Google map, right?
Right.
What you say, Bar Louie? What he said? What's his head? He like, yeah. But he got to get Google map it first.
And he's like, I'm going to go downtown and grab something. So just let me know where to meet. So I end up sending him the Wintrust Arena. I knew there was a concert going on that night. This is my first time meeting him. I have my thoughts, I'm speculating already.
I'm not giving
so let me make sure we're meeting in a place where there's a lot of people. So I told him, like, meet me near the Wintrust Arena. I'm like, is that okay? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll let you know when I'm 15 minutes away. So then he ends up getting there before me. He ends up sending the location or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, he's like, I'm right here. It was too much going on around there. I'm like, okay. Now, when I check where he is, like, he was only like half a block down. He wasn't like right in front of the arena, but down. So there's still a lot of people around. So I end up pulling up. Mm-hmm. I saw his car because I always know what car he was in from FaceTime, and he showed me the car or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I see his car. I drive past it on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it off slow. I'm gonna scope the scenery out.
So I drive past it.
I know that's right.
And then I end up pulling over, and he calls me. He's like, "You just passed me or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, my bad." So then he pulls up behind me, and we get out. And of course, okay, reach for a hug, giving a hug, whatever, da da da. And then I was like, oh shit, I almost forgot the phone.
I told you.
And then so I go back to my car and I'm like, don't forget my money. Right now I'm bringing it up because you keep on talking about this check. So I'm like, don't forget my money. So then he's like, oh yeah, shit, my bad. So goes back in the car and we do a handoff.
Hell no.
Now he's like, oh, thanks, babe, da da da. I'm like, So I grabbed the check. I just put it in my pocket, right? I didn't look at it yet.
He was not getting that phone from me.
So, we're standing there, talking. This is our first time meeting. It's finally like, oh my God, about time. Like, we actually met each other in person. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of just paying attention, to his, like, his demeanor.
No,
obviously,
you didn't
because
pay
I already
no
have, again, things in my head that I'm thinking about you. So I'm really paying attention now. So he's like, oh my God, he's like, you're prettier in person, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, thank you, still acting like shit is all good and normal. So we stand there and we talk for about 15 minutes. I'm like, don't you got a flight to catch? Like, you said you had a flight to catch. Now, mind y'all,
hey, Nick.
He did say he had a flight to catch, and he had made mention previously that he flies private. So he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I already talked to the people or whatever, I told them I'll be a little bit late and they're going to wait for me. There's like a grace period. I'm like, okay, cool. I never flew private. So, So, okay, we talked for like 10, 15 minutes. As soon as we depart, he's like, give me a hug. He's like, call me when you get in the car. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get in the car, I call him and I'm talking to him and as he's driving to the airport. Now I hear a call come through and I mean, it sounds pretty legit. I'm going to say that it was legit, of the person that works at the, the plane charter place. And it's like, hey, captain's ready to depart, do you know what your ETA is? And he's like, oh, about 15, whatever minutes.
I know.
So I'm literally on the phone with him the whole time. I'm actually hearing them like, oh, welcome,
my ass
on whatever, their whole little saying or whatever.
Girl, you had the game.
Get him on the plane. And he's like, oh, there's 2 bags in the back, So I'm literally hearing all of that. Then I literally hear, something radio or something saying that they don't have clearance to depart. So he's like, oh, damn.
Here we go.
He's like, they got to wait for clearance for us to leave. And I'm like, oh, damn, that sucks. I'm like, well, I'm glad you made it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to call you when I land. So I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever. So
Nicole,
he ends up not calling me when he lands.
Nicole taking her grandma nap. Nicole taking her grandma nap. La 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 la.
I don't really think too much of it. I'm just going about my day. I
do.
Say this is now. So May 1st was the day that we actually met each other in person. This was May 1st. Let me just double check. Yeah, May 1st is the day we actually met each other, right? So the weekend that I'm supposed to go down to California to meet him was Cinco de Mayo weekend. So now, it's a May 2nd. I text him good morning. And then a little bit after I called him and he's like, I'm on a Zoom call. I'll call you right after. Okay, cool. So he calls me. Then he's like, my assistant is on her way to the city. Text her and let her know what time and where to meet you. So I'm like, I just left my appointment. I text her, but no response yet. He's like, I'm gonna call her now. I'm like, okay, cool. Now the whole reason for me meeting this assistant is because she's supposed to be giving me actual cash in my hand. I do already have the check. I already gave him the phone. She's coming to give me actual cash.
So in my head, I'm about my business. Like,
so you gave me this check already. And you're having your assistant give me more money?
Mm-hmm.
For what? Like, this is not making sense, right? But of course, again, I'm going along with it. So, time is going by. The assistant, because he ends up like, oh, I gave my assistant your phone number. So the assistant ends up texting me and is kind of like checking in. She's like, hey, I have some meetings to finish up at this time. Let's meet at, such and such time. I'm staying at the Astoria. Do you want to just meet at the hotel? I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Now, again, like I told y'all, with everything transpiring, I'm keeping my friend Malika in the loop because I'm trying to understand what the fuck is what. Why is this happening? Why this way? What's going on, right? So my friend's in the loop the entire time. She got my location, all of that. In the event that I do meet up with said person. So basically, me and the assistant never meet up, right? Me and the assistant never meet up.
Nobody tell you take your ass out there.
He ends up texting me, like we've been in communication while he's gone. I'm communicating with him. He's communicating with me. He's like, oh yeah, my assistant, I'm handling business, this, so on and so forth. So then he ends up texting me and he's like, I decided to come back. My assistant's saying I'm being weird, saying she doesn't know you, etc. She's scared. That shit made me look bad. I feel like that's something she should have just said. I get she's never done anything like this before.
Like
but
what?
Don't agree to some shit just to disagree. Then you're acting funny towards me. It's too much. But the shit still look bad on me. But I get it though.
What?
And then he's like,
I'm confused.
no, I was like, I'm sorry you had to cut your trip short. So
But
now he's like,
some
oh, I'm
good
gonna come
praise,
back,
girl.
and I'll just give you the money because my assistant is saying she's scared. Da, da, da. I'm like, scared of what?
My ass.
I mean, I get like we don't know each other, so maybe that part. But girl, it was just pieces of the story that I still don't get. I'm like talking to my friend, like, huh? Like, what the fuck is what, right?
Are you mad you didn't keep that?
Y'all, I wish I could say
phone?
this is the end, but it gets better. It literally, well, not better, but yeah, it gets deeper. So
tell me when he get kidnapped, girl.
Now we're having a conversation.
Part.
He's like thinking about firing his assistant, and I'm like, wow, like fire her for what? Because she was afraid to meet up with somebody that she don't know, somebody that you just met for the first time 2 days ago, like in person. Fire her for what? So, we going back and forth, and I'm like, explaining to him, like, I understand where she was kind of like hesitant at if this is in fact a real situation. If this is a real situation that he's referring to, I understand how she's hesitant. Like, you should have done your due diligence in terms of letting us meet in person or talk on the phone, something before you're like, hey, meet up and give her da 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 da.
It's her job to do what he say, girl. Stop.
He ends up saying like, oh yeah, I understand, blah, blah. So he ends up saying that he's coming back.
They're gonna rob him for the money, Lakeisha. We gotta get this lie. We gonna figure
this
lie out.
He's coming back. Hear nothing from him Sunday.
Yeah, we are.
Hear nothing from him Monday morning. I get a text at 3:18 on Monday, May 6th, and he's like, I'm gonna call you when I'm finished with work. Oh, I had called him and he didn't answer. Then he's like, I'm gonna call you when I'm finished with work. I said, okay. I said, I have to pick my son up at 5:45. So now he's like, it's 8:56. 8:56 now. He's like, I'm still working, and he sends me his current location. He's like, you can meet me here. You can meet me here when I'm finished. I'll let you know when to leave out. Because again, he still wants to give me this money, right? So I just say, okay. We're going to back up a bit. So that whole day where he's like, he's still working, blah, blah. He'll call me when he's done.
Oh, that wig is nice. That wig is nice.
Wow.
Nick. I don't know what you're talking about.
Still working.
I thought it was growing from scalp, honey.
Baby. So much bullshit. But what I do is,
I don't know.
I end up calling the bank. So the check that he gave me is from Huntington Bank. Now, y'all remember he asked me what my salary was. So I gave him, I think 40 was, again, we'll just say 40K is what it was, 40K. He ends up saying that he wants to get me a bigger check and ends up saying that he's going to give me a check for 65K. Okay. I get the check. And I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to cover some things up. He ends up giving me this check for what? $75,000. Right? $75,000. Me just being a smart person that I am, I'm like, I need to do some verifying first. I'm not this girl that's just thirsty for money and I'm just gonna, put in my account. No, I need to do some verifying first. So I go to my bank, right? I go to my bank. I bank with Bank of America. I meet with the guy. I give him the check. Now, I'm like, let's see what they say. I just hand it to them. I don't say anything. I just hand it to them. So he's, the guy pulls me in the office for like certain amounts. They handle transactions, in the office or whatever. So I'm talking to the guy and he's like, oh, what are the funds for? So, I'm giving him a little spiel or whatever. He's like, okay, cool. So he's like taking a picture of the check and he ended up saying, he's like, oh, I got to get verification for something. I'm like, okay, cool. So then he walks away, he comes back and he's like, we can't verify the check. And I'm like, interesting. So then he's like, was the check mailed to you? Was it given to you in person? And I'm like, it was given to me, in person. He's like, yeah, we can't verify the check. He's like, but don't take it as something bad. He's like, what I would do is, maybe call Huntington and see if they can verify it. And I end up stating, I'm like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that because he did indicate, that he's a private client, of the bank. So maybe they have a different verification process. He's like, yeah, possibly. He's like, I can only speak on Bank of America. So I'm like, okay, cool, right? So I end up going about my day. The next day, I end up calling Huntington customer service and I'm like, hi, I wanted to verify a check. I said, I'm not sure if it's, a cashier's check, if it's, a personal check. Because when I Googled it, there's like several different checks that people can cut. Like if you have a business, you can cut a check directly from your business. It can be a cashier's check. It can be certified funds. Like it's all these different things. So I'm like, I just need to verify this check, that I received. Now at this point, I'm saying that I received it from an investor. So I'm like, funds that I received from an investor before I submit it into my account, I want to ensure the validity of this check. So I speak to the young lady and she's like, okay, no problem. She's like, what are the digits in the corner? So I'm like, there's 4 digits. And then she's like, so a cashier's check would have, I think she said 5 or 6 digits, something like that, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm like, maybe it's not a cashier's check. I'm like, it is a check. I'm not sure which type of check it is, but it's a check. And I said, it has 4 digits. So she's like, hold on, let me get you connected over to the business department. So I'm like, okay, cool. Sorry, I'm gonna throw dry again. So gets me connected over to the business department. And I'm like, hey, just want to verify some funds that I received from an investor. Wanted to ensure the validity that this check was valid before submitting it into my account. So she's like, unfortunately, that's something that we're not able to do over the phone. What I would suggest to ensure the validity of the check is to bring it into an actual Huntington location. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I end up Googling and there's actually a Huntington that's not too far from my house, like less than a mile. So I'm like, okay, I'll just save it for the next day. So that next day was a Saturday, I believe, whatever. The next day. So I end up going to the Huntington location. I'm talking to the lady. I'm like, hey, I'm just coming in here. I received a check from an investor and I'm wanting to, check the validity of the check before depositing it into my account. So she's like, oh, definitely, she's like, real, that's very smart. I wish, people were smart like that. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I give her the check and she's like, can I get your ID? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. So I gave her my ID.
No, you can't get my ID.
She's looking, she's in the system, she's putting stuff in, this, that, and the other, right?
Not my name.
She just looks at me. And I'm like, my gut's kind of like, I already know what she's gonna say. Like, I just know it. She's like, it's not real. I said, like, this at all? She's like, mm-mm. So then she begins to point things out to me. Now, mind y'all, I looked at this check, but I'm not studying the check, right? I look at it, I see for the most part, everything looks legit. When you look at it, it looks legit, right? Right. So she ends up pointing out to me, she says, okay, to start, we'll start here.
It ain't even bounced. It was
the signature, okay?
Oh, Lord.
The signature on this check, y'all.
Who said it bounced? The check couldn't even bounce. It was too fake to bounce.
That check flatlined. That check was flatlined. That's what it was.
The check was flatlined. It couldn't even bounce. It was
Wait,
flat.
what is it called when the plane can't take off? You know, like they can't take off, but it's called something. Dang it.
Oh, man. Y'all stupid.
Whatever it is that too.
So I checked. No, that check couldn't even bounce, baby. That shit was, you know, when the flat line, what's that sound it made? That line said, the poor machines, this one flat line. She said it flat line. I ain't messing with you. Oh, man. See, she was on top of the game when she had the phone. All she had to do was now give him excuses and keep that phone and go about her business. But no, she can't.
That check was stalled.
Nah, I like the flat line the best. That shit is
I
funny.
know it sounded better, but when I
Because it
looked
go better with the bounce. That shit can
Yeah.
bounce. My. I'm like, girl, you was ahead. You was ahead. You was ahead. You was trying to catch. Why are you worrying about a fake check that you know is fake when you got $1,100 phone?
And let me tell you something. I'm not playing with my freedom like that. Banks don't play. When you go into a bank, sometimes they will lock you up. They will tell their security, "Hey, come here. Stand right here." And they will call the popos on you. So she was risking her life time and time again trying to, she could have did that from her phone. She could have called and said, "Hey, take a look at this. Is it real or no?"
I think that they was thinking of that. That's why they told her to come in, because they was trying to debate, depending on how she act, if they was going to arrest her or not. I think exactly. I think that's what they were thinking. But being that she never asked for it to be deposited, she asked what type of check it is, and it was given to her. I guess they probably, I think whomever was talking to her was a detective.
Right.
So that, because I think that's probably why they said, come on in. Because the minute she would have said, I want to deposit this check, so that's their way of bringing her in to see what she going to do, if she's part of the scam or not. So they, but I'm like, damn all that. This nigga effed up and gave me $1,100.
Right.
Now me, that nigga, I'm like, yeah, I got your phone. I know I'd have had $1,100. And then you'd have been blocked. I'm not even getting the phone, right? I'm not even getting the phone. I mean, like, if I didn't know, but I'm not trying. There's nothing more to prove. You already zeroed. You didn't give him no information. You already zeroed in that he's a scammer. Once he gave me that money is mine. Scam gone wrong. Now you'd have been trying to find me.
He would have been following the police.
Like, no, this bitch done got me. I'm on her. I tell you, like you said, curiosity kills a cat. You gave up $1,100 just for what? To know you already right. I tell you, we got to get out of that habit. We have to get out of that habit. If you feel something or whatever, you don't got to be like, I knew it. You ain't got to do that. That's when you lose the game.
Yes.
When you already ahead, I keep telling y'all, silence. Don't say nothing. Now you're gonna call me. Oh yeah, I'm on my way. Have your ass sitting out there. Oh man, I think somebody in my family got sick. I got, now I'm gonna throw your shit back at you. Then you're gonna
exactly
go on to the next one. Because usually people, they don't get the opportunity to, whereas somebody send you legit money first. Usually when we watch the next one, usually the older ones give out the money first. But they need people like her to want to see. They need people like her to but nigga, what was the purpose of putting 70,000 on? I could be really happy. Now I'm gonna find you. Now I'm gonna take the 18-hour ride. But even who, they need people like her because they're not in the United States. They need to see whom love them enough to, I pay you to send me these transactions. Like it would even be in gift cards, whatever. But they do need people in the United States. So when people give them a large amount of money or whatever, it goes into the account, whatever. But I'm like, this is the first time I seen where she got the money first.
Right.
I'd be like, thank you, Lord. This scammer gonna be very mad tonight and tomorrow and a couple of more days too, because now you're gonna have to find me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she didn't know he's a scammer. That's different. But she knows. She said, oh, he's a scammer from the beginning. That's why she was smart enough to say, that's why I was saying it before. She's on top. Now you done gave up the phone. You done effed up, girl. But let's finish this out. Got a couple more minutes. Let's see what she do.
Again, like I said, y'all, I looked at the check, but I didn't analyze the check. Y'all, why is the signature on this check say Warren E. Buffett?
We're from Janie Doe to Warren E. Buffett. I'm done. That's why you should have kept that phone, girl. You ain't gonna keep playing with me.
Wait, I would have got the phone under Jane Doe too.
I wouldn't have got the phone at all. Now that I think about it, I would have told him, like he been telling me shit. I would have told him I got the phone.
Right.
But I would have kept that $1,100 and come on, son. What you want? Another trip?
Exactly. I was just gonna say that, sugar. We going and take it and we get sued out.
This trip is on the scammer. Damn it.
We flying ourselves out, son. Come on.
She said Warren Buffett. I'm done. I can't with these people. I didn't even want that part. God damn it. She said Warren. It went from Janie Doe to Warren Buffett. This motherfucker right there. Oh man. And I'm glad that as we watch these things, we catching shit quick. We catching it real quick. It's like the minute we hit, this is how I want us to stay. Soon as you hit, we ain't gotta wait. We catching, regardless of what we're catching them red things. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. We ain't got to get to the part where we arguing, scream. No, we gonna catch it first and bounce.
Yep.
Bounce. See, red flags is always there in the beginning. And the minute he said something happened to grandma, and I ain't hear about no arrangements, and my sister coming from here and there and there. Oh, they be down here.
Right.
And so she said that herself. So she knew something wasn't right. But I'm glad she didn't invest anything. I'm just mad because, girl, you got $1,100 out this scammer. Shit, that's not easy to come by to give it back.
Baby, not at all.
Come on, son. What the best? Where you say you want to go now? Oh, pay.
Pointing out to me, she says, okay, to start, we'll start here. The signature, okay?
Walmart did that to me.
The signature on this check, y'all.
Walmart got me to you. Hold up.
Again, like I said, y'all, I looked at the check, but I didn't.
I know I don't like that name, Walmart. You know how they got me. I'm still hurt, right? But Walmart got me itself. God damn it. Had me in 4 different Walmarts at the same exact time and shit. Taking all my money. Well, let's carry on.
Analyze the check. Y'all, why is the signature on this check say Warren E. Buffett? Warren Buffett.
E. Buffett.
I'm like, girl, be for real right now. So I literally look at it, and she picked up that, like, okay, this girl was really like, finna get scammed.
See, that's what they
Or
wanted to see.
can you even call it a scam? So she picks up, on my energy, and she's like, okay, like, this girl really didn't know. Like, a person that's on some fuck shit is really finna be like, oh shit, let me get the fuck out of here. She really picked up, like, okay, this girl really, had no idea. So I'm like, wow, the signature. Okay. She's like, then she ends up pointing out the routing number. The routing number at the bottom of the check. Baby, why is it's a Chase routing number?
But how was you wouldn't know
I'm like, so, okay, I mean, we already knew, like, with the signature, that was kind of like, okay, it's a fake check. So you put a fake signature, a fake routing number.
What else, girl?
You just made me a fake check.
Yeah.
Why? 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 So I thank the lady. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that I double checked before inputting this shit into my bank account. So I immediately call my best friend, and I'm like, girl, so this is what was told to me. We're both on the phone like, why? What was the point? What do you gain?
He wanted that phone.
Like, are you just this big of a scammer that you actually thought you were doing me some good by giving me a fake check and maybe putting me up $75K? Like, what was your point?
Girl, that was never going
like, y'all, I really still to this day cannot understand
what the point was. I just told you why.
This doesn't do anything for that person. Does nothing for you. All that would have done for me, what that would have done to me is close my fucking accounts. That's what that check would have done. Bank of America would have closed the fuck out of my accounts because you're depositing.
No, she said she didn't look at
$75,000 check.
She said she didn't.
I'm sorry.
Look at it.
A $75,000 phony check.
Because he was finished with you.
Like, y'all. So I didn't say anything to him, right? He ends up calling me. I answer the phone. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey, babe, did you deposit the check yet? I'm like, no, not yet. I'm super busy. I'm like, I'll get around to it, right? He's like, oh, yeah, no, definitely understand. I'm really in my head like, you bitch.
But no, you mother tucker. You mother tucker.
I'm not even mad at the fact that you...
Mother tucker.
I ain't gonna lie, I am mad. What was your point? What you selling me a dream for? What does that do? Now, y'all, what if I actually, I mean, I did end up quitting the job, but I didn't quit the job because of him saying he's gonna give me this money. I got a new job. But what if I really did quit my job? Like, oh yeah, he's gonna give me X amount of dollars so I can do this, that, and the other. What if I would have did that? What if I would have did that?
Yeah, I wouldn't have known about no routing.
How does how does anything benefit you?
For the signature.
Literally everything you did, it didn't benefit you at all.
Yeah, you got
so it's kind of like it's giving weird, low, creepy,
down, dirty, rotten, scandal.
People just not okay in the head. Why are you on a dating site? Like, y'all, I'm still baffled because it's like, you didn't scam me out of anything but my time. Like, I picked up on a lot of your stuff way before you actually put this check in my hand.
Hello.
But exactly, I really want to know, Martin. Like, what was your point?
I already told you the point, girl.
Like, really, what was your point? So we still have each other on social media. I went on the page. My phone is Instagram acting so funny, y'all. But I'm on his page. He still follows me. He still watches my story. I haven't made another phone call. I haven't sent another DM, text message, nothing. So he obviously knows. He has to know. He has to know I figured it out. Unless he is like, oh, she got her 75K and she dipped. I'm up 75K. I'm actually not up 75K.
Yeah, he know you was not up no 75K. Girl.
But you also didn't fuck me up if that was your plan.
That was
like,
the plan.
I don't know, y'all. It's super fucking weird. Like I said, still watches my story to this day. Hasn't called, hasn't texted, hasn't nothing.
I told you, girl, what was the scam? The other phone calls, girlfriend, hopefully she could watch this, but if not, we give awareness. The other phones was for the older women that he scammed. That's who he got the money from. But remember, they play it two ways. So he was trying to see, was you going to give him the money? You didn't bite. You didn't bite. So now he wanted to see plan two. Will you be the one that he can give the money to and you hold it in your account and then give it to him after he scammed the other women? So he wanted to see if he could, the phone that he gave you, the money that he gave you from the other women he scammed. And remember, they need different phones. That's why he wanted an Apple phone.
Right.
Different accounts. They could come in as different people. So he wanted you to purchase the phone because he couldn't purchase the phone. That was a clue right there, nigga. Take your ass to the store. You got there yourself. But again, she's figuring he got to go somewhere. But that was your time to scam the scammer. He put that in your zelly. Nigga, you ain't really? That was your time to play. People usually don't get that money. Sometimes what they usually do with the older people, they send them like $100 here, $100, because they're going to invest in you. Right. Yeah, now you see where it makes sense. Right. So that's what I was reading what Martin said. So you see where it makes sense. The part is, what I'm like, damn, girl, you want to win it in $1,100? Because, again, the young girls, they always, I'm about my bag. I'm about my bag. I'm about that money. So you probably figure, well, shit, them young girls, I could just give them a little something, something, and they could do these transactions for me. Not knowing they're going to go to jail, but they're going to do it as long as they can do it. Your ass the one in jail. They're the ones in their country. You cannot trace them, right? You're not tracing them. Them are fake accounts. And all the numbers are basically Google numbers, which she doesn't know that part neither. So you ain't going to trace it. I would have took my little $1,100 for my troubles and went on my way. And still followed his ass too. Said shit. Right. I don't believe he knew where she lived. But sometimes when you think that you're smart, stop thinking you smart. And that goes for all of us. We got a gut feeling. Use your gut feeling. But stop thinking you smart against people that are predators. They study you. That is their job. That is their job. So you don't have to guess why. Why? Because he was trying to figure out what the hell he going to do with you. But you didn't bite, thank God. And the check was just so he could be done with you. Like you ain't want to play the game, I'm gonna make you suffer. See, that's how narcissistic people do too. I'm gonna make you suffer. And then, she already playing that. I ain't gonna ask for it. Girl, stop doing that too. When I'm gonna show him I don't want the money. So you might figure, oh, okay, she Miss Independent, huh? I'm gonna play a little while longer. I tell you, they love independent women. That's why you didn't read the name on that damn check. If you was a woman that was about, if you was a woman that wasn't independent, and what you call them other women who was about that money, he knew you would have checked that name before you left. Been like, what the fuck is this? But he knew you wasn't gonna do that because you're an independent woman. He knew that you wasn't gonna run to the bank. He knew you was not gonna be in that car. Soon as you got in that car, or you wasn't gonna be like, why really? Let me see. He knew you wasn't gonna do that because you miss independent. Use the quickest person that he can use to funnel that $1,100 to, and then go buy the phone because he couldn't do it. And I'm quite sure the guy you was speaking to is another guy that's part of the scam, who's going to send it to whomever he needs. That phone wasn't for him neither. That phone wasn't for him neither. They're not in the United States. And then if you really was smart, girl, you took a picture of the license plates. I mean, if you're gonna be smart all the way. You know what I'm saying? Take a picture of them license plates, see what it's belong to. I mean, if you're gonna play the game, I keep telling y'all gonna play the game. Learn how to play the game, or don't get in it. I'll record everything. Allowed to show that thing of that license plate went straight to the popo. So whomever that car belongs to, goddamn it, whomever the other person he got working with him, they'd have been very sorry.
Right, sugar.
Oh no, where's the other one? She got another one. Damn it, I don't see it. What did I don't have it. It was the one with the guy now. Oh, here it go. Did you say they met on IG? No, on one of them dating sites. One of them dating sites. This credit goes to Shy the Message. Shy the Message.
I've ever made. And I'm going to talk about how I lost the majority of my life savings in a dating scam. The scam is called the pig butchering scam.
Who?
And it's very much affected my 2023 and the last.
You said pig booting. This is a new one? Pig the booting.
It sounds pig butchers to me.
Pig butcher? Oh, poor baby.
Like 3-4 months of my life in a very profound way. And I'm ready to
Well, just in case anybody listening to this, I do not make no money off here, and I am broke. I am broke as smoke. I am not the one. I am not the one that you want. I ain't got nothing but love for you, baby. I ain't got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love. God damn, I ain't got nothing. I ain't even got that for you. No, I ain't got nothing for you, baby. Ain't got nothing for nothing.
talk about it and share it with you. And I want to share it for a number of reasons. In part, because I think it's just really healthy and healing to tell the story. And I also want to let people know more about how this works so that if it comes up in your life, that you can spot the signs and hopefully prevent it from happening to you. And if it has happened to you, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want to share some resources on what you can do, where to go to report it if this has happened to you, and also, what I'm doing to help heal and recover in ways that my Thai massage practice has actually been invaluable in helping me. I want to be pretty brief about it, and I've actually got a Substack, a new blog where I've written this story out in more detail, and there's a link down below. And if you want to become a subscriber and find out more about the story, then you can head over there as well. But what happened to me is it all started around the holidays. Started just after or before Christmas. I can't actually really remember. And I was on the Facebook dating app, and I found this interesting looking woman, and I liked her and she liked me, and we started talking, and we started getting to know each other, and it was all through text. And I guess that's really the first red light. She said she said she was local, but she was away. She was going away like the day or the day after that we started talking, going to LA to visit with her cousins, and that the way that she liked to get to know people is through texting first. As a way of writing is a way, her exact words were, "This helps me to see into another person's soul is through writing." And it's very interesting because there's both an external part to this, that the person who was able to convince me and build that trust with me is very, very good at what she does. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's, they are getting so much better at understanding the psychology of what people are attracted to and looking for and really speaking to that. But then there's also my internal reality and my own internal life. And so I was open to it. And I was open to it in part because I had a very loving long distance relationship for a couple of years during COVID. And I spent a lot of time getting to know that person. I mean, we did meet in person before we started our long distance relationship, but at the same time, a lot of our time together because of COVID was spent in a long distance and in a WhatsApp kind of relationship. We would share messages together all day. So, I was curious and I was open, and so that's how things started. And we just started sending messages and getting to know each other that way. And I was, she's Chinese, and she had a way with words that was very poetic and very interesting way of expressing herself. And as someone who's into Eastern styles of massage and into healing in general, just getting to know her was very interesting. And she presented herself as someone who also had a very strong business background. So, in the cadence and in the back and forth that was going on at the beginning, when she told me that she had that business background, I just kind of let it out that, oh, well, maybe at some point you can help me to become a better investor, because that's something I'm looking to become better at doing. So, she didn't actually have to reel me in very hard because it truly was something that I was interested in. I managed to save some money over the last couple of years, especially as I was rebuilding from COVID and looking for a way or ways to invest. And I'd actually purchased a course a couple of months earlier and was planning to dig into that course, which was teaching me all about, prudent ways of investing and building more of a nest egg, So I just let it slip. And then a part of what was so, deviously successful about her approach is that she didn't really say much about it until maybe 2 or 3 days later. And then came back to me with it and basically said, I remember you were into that investment idea and maybe I do have something to share with you. And so she shared with me. And what she shared with me was a way of doing crypto trading through short-term trading. So basically buying long or selling short and making trades that only last for a very short amount of time, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, etc. And then you see what kind of return you get in that amount of time. And the way she said it and was explaining it to me was that right now was a really perfect time to invest because of the conditions in the market, but it was only going to last for a little while, and asked me if I was interested. So, and that wasn't the only thing that we were talking about. In fact, I would say even at that time, it represented, maybe 5% or 10% of our conversation was around finance or around investing. We were just getting to know each other and building up a connection, or, what certainly felt like a connection. And I said, sure. And essentially, she showed me that what I would need to do in order to make this work is that, to support the technology of doing the short and long trading like that, it's not something to do on like Coinbase or Bitcoin or whatever the other like major exchanges are. She showed me a specific exchange that I would need to sign up to and join, and then we would transfer some money into that account and then see how it works. And so that's basically what we did. And I also happened to have a little bit of experience trading. So I had an exchange account already set with one of the bigger names. And then from there, it was really pretty simple to just set up the other account on another platform and transfer some money from point A to point B. And she,
This is why you got to be very careful, again, what you tell people, because they become exactly who you need for them to be.
Yep. It's called
Right?
mirroring.
Right? But not mirroring the behavior. That's when you're being them, right? They become whatever you want them to be. They become that person, right? And remember, you really don't know who you talking to. So even if that person didn't have the expertise in that, they found the next person who's
Right.
the expertise in it. That's why I say whatever part of you that you need to fix, you need to fix it, or you are prey, right? And they only
Right.
one of the ways they get you is when they find out what your needs are or what do you want, and that will be the scam. They don't know the scam at first, they just know that you're going to get scammed. They don't know according to what you tell them. So sometimes
Right.
never be too quick to think that you are smart because they came to you, so you are prey. But a lot of people think, oh man, I'm smart, I'm gonna get this person. These people do this for a business. You could be smart all you want. There's nothing wrong with being smart. But the only way you get caught is when they figure you want something too. Now, if you don't want nothing, then it's like, oh man, they gotta keep pushing and pushing and pushing. That's why you let them know from me, I ain't got nothing. Now, if let them hurry up and go to the next one. Tell them I got nothing but
Mhm.
problems. When you got nothing but problems, they are gone. You don't even have to block
Right.
because you're no use for them, right? It'll be like, I'll call you back tonight and it'll never happen again, right? They will absolutely leave you all the way alone because you're not a good catch, right? But a lot of time people hear these opportunities and they figure, I'm going to get something out of it. That's how a lot of people get scammed because something you wanted too, or something you thought you was going to get out of it, right? So, what's that I was saying? When things are too easy to be true, then it's too easy to be
Yeah.
true,
Then it
right?
is.
Mm-hmm. So he wants to make money or whatever, and that's how she got him, right? So he's going to show him the cheaper. Remember, she don't know him. I'm not going to give you the insight. Nobody gives you the insight on something so quick but don't know you. What if you had a wife and kids or whatever, right? And I'm not gonna give you that to better you. I get nothing out of it. So that was sort of kind of tell you somebody doing something in your favor, but you're not thinking about that because all you're thinking about is yourself at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
Think about yourself. Oh man, she gonna put me down and make me some money. Nah, people gonna help you out like that. They want a return. Like, are you gonna be my man? Do you got a man?
Mm-hmm.
You
They want
don't know, right?
to.
When you know, you gotta keep being careful because you don't know when things go down. You help them, cause that's the way they form the scam. Or you know, just just don't play the game, right? I got 99 scammers, 99 problems, but a scammer ain't one. Now, if you're talking to somebody, talk to them, right? And keep it just like that. But again, in life, it doesn't stay right there. We're in real life. It doesn't stay there
Baby, tell
because
you.
somewhere down the line, it has to move forward. Nothing stays right there. It has to move forward. Remember, these people study psychology. Maybe not in no college or nothing, but they read 50 million tons of books and they know how the mind works, right? So they know they're going to talk to you for a while or whatever. Because after a while, nobody's going to stay with somebody if we still in the same space. So of course you're going to start talking about your wants, your dreams, good day. I'm having a good day. I'm having a bad day. And everything that you say helps them with the scam. It helps them with the scam. So I don't know what to tell people no more, you know? Not saying everybody's bad or whatever, but our job here is for you to catch on to how the lingo goes. And if you are a type of person who cannot be by yourself, and stop listening to people, even though they're not saying it to be mean or anything. Stop listening to people. Oh, give it a chance. You need some love in your life. Stop acting so stubborn. Give it a chance. You might stop listening to them people. They don't mean no harm, but them the ones walk your ass into a scam too, right? Put your guards down. You gotta trust one day. Everybody's not bad. I just think at a certain age, like if you meet somebody like in person or whatever, let it grow like that. Not to say that it's going to work, but is you'll know these lingos. You will know a knock lingo. You will know the manosphere lingo, the red pill lingo, the scammers lingo. They all have different lingos, but it's damn near the same. You
Right.
but learn all the different lingos. That's what our job is. This elderly woman tried to do me the same way. I gave her the number to the Dollar Tree and gave her fake everything off a Dollar Tree receipt. She got mad. But I'm not going to say like everybody's bad or whatever. But hey, if once you get the lingos down packed, right, and catch them in the beginning, and don't try to prove nothing else. Once you catch it, bounce. Silence, bounce. And it's sad. Your life may depend on it too. Because you don't know what type of sociopath, narcissistic person you have. They don't have a problem slitting you up and cutting you up. And they don't have a problem. But for some reason, when it comes down to the Caucasian guys, it's always a Chinese woman. So they think. See, this is how good the psychology go. You don't even know. They know this is what you like, right? They know Caucasian guys like these type of women. Like black guys like these type of women, right? Black girls like these type of, white girls like these, Spanish girls like these type of women. So they know what to send to you. And they look at your age, right? And usually when you're an older guy, especially if you got a little money, they know to send you a certain age bracket because you're a dog, right? You're a dog. You want that young thing. They're going to send you that fake young thing, right? And if you got little braids, they're going to send you the beauty with the brains, right? But it's all still a scam. That's how much they have these things down pat. They know what you're looking for. So every time I watch this, it was an Asian girl. It was an Asian girl. Y'all Caucasian, man. Y'all better stop messing with them little Asian girls. So you think it's an Asian girl. But it's always, I see that's your type, huh? But yep, but let's go.
I had told her how much I had in that account. And she said, I really am concerned about your safety. I don't want to do anything risky. So let's just start with a small amount. She suggested I take half of that and that we try. And so that half was about $3,500. And that's what I started with.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, she would tell me exactly how much to trade and at the exact right moment, because she had some kind of knowledge through her own knowledge of Bitcoin. And she had on her computer, basically connected to the Bitcoin network, and she had a mentor. And so, this is all part of that backstory that I would say, if you want to learn more about, you can go to my blog and explain it in more detail. But that was basically it, that she would tell me the amounts to trade and I would do it. 2 minutes later, I would get a return. And it was amazing. Essentially every time that I did a trade, it was working out, and I would get like a 10% return in 2 minutes. And so, in about an hour's worth of setting this up and doing the trading, my $3,500 had become $4,200 or $4,300. And I was like, wow, I've never made money like this before. And it's just felt like such a gift. And she felt like such a gift. And, I was on cloud nine, really. And that's how we ended it that night. And she said that for her, she does these kinds of trades for herself every, 2 or 3 times a week. And she was interested in sharing it with me, in part because, in getting to know each other, she was excited about my career and having a family and what I would do with the money. And she was someone who was looking for a student, that she had amassed her wealth and had done really well for herself, and now was very excited about sharing that. And again, as a teacher, I could relate to that, because I know that I've been gifted with a practice in Thai yoga massage, and sharing that and finding people who are truly passionate about the work and being able to teach them and share it and see them flourish with it is one of the great gifts of my life. So, like I said, I, in a lot of ways, internally, I happen to be a really good person to get excited and for her to really succeed at her job, because I had things going on in my life. I had stuff that had happened in my own past that made me pretty susceptible to it. And I trusted her, and so that first night was that much money. And then we took the rest of the money from that crypto account. And then, within a few days, essentially, I had probably profited $5,000 or $6,000. And I was just, the decision was like, do I go into, I had other savings that I had been building over the period of years. And do I take from that and invest it and see if I can turn it into something more? And so I did. And within 3 weeks, I thought I had actually made about $45,000. And I was blown away, because for me, that is just life-changing wealth and prosperity. And
want to know a secret?
More than just my armpits stink.
Girl, that is not a secret. That's why I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant for 24/7 freshness everywhere. It goes on clear on my skin and my uniform.
Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
Working with Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant, I'm creating a business of acting manual to help others. A manual of this size would take me maybe a year. With AI Assistant, I can finish it in 4 to 6 weeks.
what I could do with that, to help pay for my daughter's college, to help build my business, etc. And so even if this was only going to go on for a couple more weeks, because as she said, it was a short-term thing, this was just a golden parachute. That's what it felt like. And I was also, of course, very excited about her as a person and getting to start to build a life with this person. So, at this point, I started telling other people. And the first person I told, was just genuinely excited for me. And it just, as I was saying, I'm just like, I have the craziest dating story for you, and here's what's going on. And then the second people I told, they were equally excited, but they were skeptical. And, truthfully, I was skeptical as well. It's not like I just completely bought into, is this real? I tried to research it. I Googled things. I was checking out short-term and long-term trading. It all seemed like a thing. And a thing that really exists in the world of investing. I attempted, when I had only invested a small amount of my money into the exchange, to see if I could, or really when I made that first investment, to see if I could take money out. And I did a little test with a small amount, and that worked for me as well. So, I didn't really suspect it until I had shared with the second set of friends what was going on. And it took a few minutes of them Googling and checking it out. And essentially that's where they pulled up the pig butchering scam, which essentially it was a description of exactly what was going on in this, that I don't want to repeat the whole story, but basically, and I can post a link. I will post a link to that below where you can see it's exactly as it's described. And, I hate the image, but it's true. They build you up and build you up. And then it's like they cut your head off, and essentially that's it. And then your whole life savings is gone in my case, and your heart is broken. And that's, so once I found out about it, I tried to extract a lot of money from that exchange, and it didn't work. And not only that, but the customer support on the other end basically said I had been flagged as a risk. And so to help make sure that I'm a real person, I would need to put in another $10,000 as a security deposit. That would be returned to me along with my money. So, I wasn't going to fall for that at this point. And I tried to I was still in communication with the quote unquote woman who was, that I'd been getting to know, to see if maybe she could help me in some kind of way. Cause I'm like, well, this is kind of the only thing I can think of to really get the money back. And so I'd asked her, can you lend me the $10,000? And, because she had actually said that the same thing had happened to her and she got the money back and et cetera. So I'm like, okay, great. Well, you can lend me the money and then I'll put it in there and then I'll give you that money back. I'll even give you interest. I don't really care, just as long as I can get my money back. But of course, shortly thereafter, I didn't hear from her again. And this was my situation. And it was a real, to say it was a shock to the heart, a shock to the system, is almost underselling what it was like when I first found out about this. And, so that was at the end of January. And here I'm making this video at the beginning of May. So we're about 3.5 months into the healing and recovery phase and, moving on into this next phase. So, the beginning thing for me was just the amount of shame and the amount of pain that it all brought up was overwhelming. And it was just such a unique kind of pain. I mean, I've had my heart broken. I've had my father pass away. I've dealt with death. I've dealt with loss. But this was so different. This was a huge violation, as well as, let's say, having.
I like when you said this is a unique type of pain.
Yes.
I mean, he articulated that, like, because when it's that unique type of pain, that is why people don't speak out. And it sends you into a deep depression and stuff.
Yes.
But now it's a unique type of pain. When you done gave all your, that's like somebody dealing with TKO. When they didn't gave up all that money,
right?
That's a unique type of pain. We're gonna use that one for a certain thing. We're gonna have to use that one. Please write that down so I don't forget. But we got to start using that one too. Unique type of pain. When you've been played, and then the only thing you're gonna hear is "you stupid. You should have known better." Like people, that's why I keep saying we gotta understand when people tell their stories. Sometimes it's just to listen to it, right? Well, I'll never be that dumb. You don't have to be, but somebody else might. I never heard of this scam. I heard the things that she's doing in the scam, but for it to have a name, I'm just munching a little bit. Just a little bit, Nick. But to put a name on it, and it is a violation. Why? Because you can't find them. Can't find them. And I'm glad more and more people are speaking out about scams. So if people go to check the internet, it's a plethora. I think anybody too who's even thinking about that, but again, they don't catch regular people. They can catch regular people, but they really they have targets. And we're trying to get these targets. Yeah, they embarrassed because it's a unique type of pain. Because you'll have somebody that's, well, you should have known that the first time. Well, you ain't get no papers. And what made you trust them? Like we get it. But they're not doing that for our sympathy. They're doing it to spread awareness, right? Is what you're getting, is what you're going to get out of it, saying this exists, right? Now, if they don't tell their stories, then people won't know this exists and it needs to be talked about. This exists. And then for the people who knows these things, then why you don't put something out too for people? Scammers, this is what you look for. If they do this, then you should do that. I mean, that would be a better thing to do if you're so smart, right? People are so smart. Okay, you so smart, then why don't you put out videos with your smartness? And vulnerable. People, I know people get lonely or something. I don't know, because again, that's people don't understand that's trauma. Loneliness, that's why People don't understand. Well, you lonely. Nah, we ain't lonely. We just alone. There are people that's lonely, but there's
Yeah.
people, right? They
If
look for the people that's lonely. So when these stupid beta people or whatever, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna come back because I gotta do little Keon. Let's see what little Keon's up to. Yeah, dating is so scary. Yeah, Jackie. And I, like I said, I do this because I see it too often. There's too many of these stories out here. And the closest one I got to a win was the girl we had before. She would have had to win if she didn't give him that phone, right? She the closest one that we had to a win that got something from the scammer and was gone. Right? Gone. Oh, but she the closest one. Everybody else don't. They didn't have the notion in the beginning, this is a scammer. Let me get this go. And if that girl, if she wanted to, if she would have, remember, she saw him. If she would have got that man's picture and them license plates, and he the one gave her that check, his ass would have been in jail.
I was thinking the same thing.
Whoever you covering for in Nigeria, they wouldn't have give two shits, but you would have been in jail. Or we gotta remember, from some things people leave out, right? So we'll call them type of name, ask why they didn't call Popo, but technically she could have. I don't know. She could have, but leaving that part out because sometimes you can't tell everything. Can't tell everything. Yeah, there's definitely a difference. So they gonna hit the wall and you're gonna be lonely. No, Ninja, I'm alone. I'm not lonely. Lonely people is targets and they prey.
Right.
My heart broken because I actually thought there was a real thing happening between me and this woman. Just like what that money represented, that I, not necessarily the money that I had earned in interest, but all the principal that, is now gone, puts me in such a precarious situation. And it's also, money that I'd spent literally years and years saving. And now it was, all of a sudden gone. So, what I wanted to do was very much like curl up into a ball and just kind of disappear. And I guess that was my first instinct. And I also recognize, from being a healer and being someone who's learned from a lot of loss, that that's not necessarily going to serve me in the long run. Maybe it's going to serve me in the short run. And it's not even a bad thing to do, because when the pain is so overwhelming, when the fear and everything else that's coming up feels so overwhelming, I think I believe very much in, it's important to find comfort in the discomfort, or as I say, comfort in uncomfortability. But there's also only so much you can take. And when you're in the first waves of it and literally waves are crashing into you and all around you, then my process is to face it and face the fear and face the pain to the highest degree that I can, but also to be kind to myself. And this is actually also what I'm writing about in this blog, and what I'm sharing here is,
we articulate things just like so well, like the feelings that people need. He just hitting you with articulating everything. He's just like zoning in. I felt like doing this. And then I felt like doing that, but then he said it's a period where you can't. It's a process. I like this guy. What's his name again? Sha Thai Massage. Yes.
Yeah, I like the way he articulates everything.
This is the story that happened to me, but I also, it's an unfolding story. And part of my first feelings, as much as I wanted to curl up into a ball, is that I recognize, it's the same binary choice I think that I've faced in other instances when my heart has been hurt and broken so much, is, do I Do I retreat and do I build up a wall, and do I get skeptical and hate in my heart and towards the world, or do I find a way to still stay open and essentially, not let my spirit get broken? And I'm choosing door number 2. I'm choosing healing methods and putting a foot forward every day to not let my spirit get broken, and beyond that, to let this be a force of good in my life and a force of good in the world. And so here we are, and for now, what I would say is that, the biggest signs I think to look out for, number one, is that if you meet someone and you're not able to talk to them in person or even, on the phone, we really just stayed with the texting. And then, as she explained to me, she'd be coming back to San Francisco in about a month, or middle of February, and maybe 6 weeks, because after she was in LA, she was going to visit her family, her mom who lived in Hong Kong, and then was taking a trip for a couple of weeks even further into Japan and to Finland. So she had this whole trip planned right as we were meeting. So she was coming back in February, and that's as she explained it to me. We did exchange some audio messages, but we never even really spoke on the phone. And so the first thing I would say is just that, is to be very much on the lookout for, if you're getting to meet someone and because of whatever their busy life or your busy life that may be going on, is to have some boundaries until you're actually able to certainly speak to them and then meet them in person before you allow trust to build too far down the road. And certainly, money and relationship mixing, I mean, that's the kind of thing that
No, you got to fix yourself first, right? The only could come in if something you haven't fixed first. Fix yourself first, right? So if you're fixed, your
Right.
conversation will be different, number one. And number two, when people give you an idea, once you tell them things that you want to do, then they'll find the perfect scam for you. Oh, wow. Like the other one. As she says, oh, I like a business. I want to go to school. Well, I'm a business. I graduated in business account, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time, like the first time we're supposed to meet up, and even in real life, not just scams, I tell you, once you fix yourself, you ain't, if you know they're going to be, you sit up there and say we're going to meet up, and they come with an excuse, that might be a scam. But if you're not sure, I don't care what you say. I'm not helping you with nothing. Nothing. I don't know you. I feel so sorry for you. You stuck. I've heard the majority of the ones that I hear is they in one of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and you went on a mission. You're stuck. Well, you better tell Uncle Sam come get your ass, okay? Shit. You better call Uncle Sam. You talking to the wrong person. You serving this man. You better go and call Uncle Sam and tell him to come get you. Oh, I've been discharged. And they left you. Again, people know these things are not true. But because they haven't healed with themselves, or because either their spouse has passed away, that is trauma. Trauma mess with your brain cells. So all these people that before the trauma, you would never have been able to catch them because their brain cells are good.
Right.
Trauma mess with your brain cells. So then you'll do things and go for stuff because you have a hope. Hope is a very bad trauma. Even though people think hope is good. Hope is really not good. Right. I think praying is good. I understand. I think people should just replace certain things with prayer and ask God. But as far as I keep going for something because I hope, That's not a good thing. Don't hope nothing. That's how a lot of people
Exactly.
stay stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you're gonna change. I was hoping she was gonna change. I was hoping every time somebody hope for something, it don't come out right. Or tell people keep hope. No, I ain't gonna keep hope. I'm gonna keep praying. It's
This
gonna
ain't the
that it
rainbow.
come to me. I ain't hoping, right? What'd you say, sis?
This ain't the Rainbow Coalition. Jesse Jackson, keep hope alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to bed at 11:59. Y'all know Nick crazy.
Certainly, in hindsight, I would say it's something that just shouldn't mix. And if it is going to mix, it happens months or years down the road once you're really much farther along in your relationship. So those are the first things I would say to really look out for, and how you can protect yourself from this happening to you. If it has happened to you, then there's a couple of resources, and I'm posting them down below, where you report it. And so with the FBI, they have a hotline, a modern day hotline. It's a website where you can go and report it. And then there's also this nonprofit that I found out where you can report it. And someone was in touch with me right away once I reported it, but because of how much it was impacting me, I was not able to report it, the day after. I reported it a couple weeks after. And so by then they explained to me, well, by now your money is most likely gone. Even if you think you're in touch with this person, within a couple of days, once they realize they've taken as much from you as they can, they'll take the money out in some kind of money laundering way. So if this does happen to you, then I would say you want to report it as soon as possible and get in touch with these people, and maybe something can be done to help you recover your funds as well. But if it has happened to you, I also just want you to know, that you're not alone. And
struggling to write your emails?
And building some community around this. And I have shared the story now, publicly. I'm making a video about it, but I have written about it publicly. And I've heard lots of different stories from people, maybe not the exact same pig butchering, but it amazes me how many people have been scammed, and how there's so many of us out there. And it is true that we live in a world now which is so connected, and so much opportunity for this kind of scamming exists in different ways, and the technology is just getting better and better, and people are learning the psychology of how to pull off these scams better and better. So getting educated in this way, I actually, is a big part of why I'm making this video. Last thing is that I have started a GoFundMe as well, and this is to help in the recovery phase as I build my life savings back, but also with building my business and building new projects. It's a very up and down world in this teaching of Thai massage and sharing the healing paths that I'm very interested in sharing. And so if you feel motivated and you want to share this story and you want to contribute to my rebuilding fund, then I have a link here as well, and you can make a donation. And anything certainly matters, and it's not just financial that matters in this. I'm so.
Are you scamming? Now let me stop. I wanna see what he's been up to. Let's see what
it was coming out my mouth.
Huh?
I said it was coming out my mouth. Like, are you the new co-leader that's coming out?
Let's see what he's been up to.
Welcome to the 30-day Thai Massage Challenge for your shoulders and neck. My name is Shai Plonsky, or Shai Thai Massage, and in this video, I want to talk to you about what you can.
Let's see what he's been up to. He ain't been alive in 2 years. Come on now. I teach you different things about massages. This was 2 years ago. So get down! Get down! Whichever one you are.
I was about to say, who is it, Goldie or Carter?
Come here.
Gucci about to get kicked out of the house because I'm eating the last of my ribs, and he over
I
here
knew it was you.
that he finna get my ribs.
All right. So last time he did a video was 2 years ago. That was a live. When last time he did a video. Oh, he does his video 4 days. Oh, we might have to check him out. Free. He got back massages, back pain relief. After he got done dirty. Oh, he does little thing. Okay. All right. He gonna get you crack to the crack. But he doing all right. He better now. He's still putting in his videos and stuff. He do a video like every 2 weeks, just about every 2 weeks. I'm about to check out that one from the massage away back pain. I check that one out. Stop jumping your fat ass up on my stuff. Sick of you. Now, hold up. But he all right. He doing all right. Now we're gonna come back in about 5 minutes. And then
okay.
We're probably gonna get into Lil Keon. But again, God, I'm gonna always bring these type of things on. So we would be the best, smartest educators out there, right? Again, take these messages and pass them along. Take what you learn here or what we talk about here, spread the message. Keep spreading it and keep showing it.
I was able to do that yesterday at the grocery store because apparently the young lady that was checking me out was having some dilemmas. I was trying not to get into her business, but she just kept saying to her coworker, which was a young man, I just feel like I need to detach. And he was like, no. I was like, Some said no, say something to her. So I basically regurgitated what we talked about the night before.
Wow.
And he walked away, and I told her, I said, I know he may mean well, but he's a young man. He's going to always tell you from a young man's point of view. I am a woman. I'm older than you, and I'm just trying to impart some wisdom on you. But please follow your gut and stand in your truth and believe in yourself. And I told her also, pray to God and ask God to direct you. Don't be worried about these nappy-headed little boys. You got your whole life ahead of you, girl. Decenter these young men.
And tell her to check out them decentering videos on YouTube, wherever is that. We got to look at it. You don't believe it? Look at it, right?
Yeah.
Because I think you said it well. He's going to tell you what a little boy want to tell you.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that, but I want to see if I can direct her to one of your videos, because I don't know a lot of videos that are talking about that. And I know also when you were even looking in that, it wasn't like, or maybe I didn't see it. No, that was the Manosphere or whatever the case was. I'll look it up myself and see. So when I go back to the grocery store, I can show her, and then, she can see it.
That's why I like to show the video. I just be praying, Lord, don't copyright his sister, because I want it gives you the visual of what we're talking about. Because if you just talk about it, people just going to hear you. But if you show the visuals, like when I speak upon love bombing, these people, I can say, I could bring up a Nature Boy video. If you want to join the cult, there you go. and I would show the ones with them slapping each other. You understand what I'm saying? It's that Nature Boy
Right.
is a learning tool. He is a learning tool. He's a learning tool. What he has left here is a bunch of information. So, and you know which videos to go to. Go to his real ninja moment. And then show the next video when he's just nice. And then people, and even with these like with the TKOs, he teaches you what they say building means. Building means I'm gonna say it up here and you're gonna bring me all your money, but we building. We building. He ain't give you, then it shows you just for TKO's time. You're paying for his time. If even a nigga say hello to you, you would have had to give him some money. He's another one you could tell is a scam artist. First thing he do, how much you make? What you got? He already into your money business.
I learned the hard way about that. Don't be telling a man what's in your bank account and all of that stuff. I learned the hard way. Bank accounts got drained. I looked up and was like, hey, I need some money to replace this. After he gave me a little bit, but then after a while, he was like, you got stuff in here, sell it off. I felt like Ike and Tina. I felt like a garden tool about to walk the track.
She said, go to girls year later. Well, thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is pure.
You're a pal and a confidant.
And if you do a party
and it invited everyone you knew,
you will see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached will say,
hey, thank you for being a friend.
That's Nick's way of saying goodbye. All right, y'all, sing the day goodbye. I can't stand Nick. I can't stand you. Just want to let you know that, Nick. Okay? All right. Let's go.
I want to thank you all tonight for joining me under these lights. Could have been anywhere at all, but here you are answering the call. You know this show's got sugar sweet every 2